Welcome to Outlaw Radio. I am so happy to be back tonight. We were not on Monday. So for those of you who were looking for the show, looking forward to the show, we weren't on, but we're on tonight. So hit like, hit share, hit follow, right? Tell a friend and tell a friend. Outlaw Radio is on the air. It's Outlaw Radio Real Talk. Because sometimes we just have to have harsh conversations, hard conversations, difficult conversations. That's what I'm here for. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the host of Outlaw Radio. Been doing this for about 11 years. So if you're just, getting your platform off the ground and you're looking for some sort of assistance, not even direction or, orders, just in terms of understanding how to navigate this space, holla at me, man. I'm so open to collaborations, and the sad part is nobody wants to collaborate. It's like, Kev, I'm the little fat kid on the block who has no friends. But if you want to get down, if you want to be involved in the show tonight, the number is 262-202-5131. If you are able, you can see it on the on the little thing on the bottom, the scrolling across the bottom of the screen, the streamer. 262-202-5131. It's really, for me, this is easy because there's so much to talk about. I'm done with assuming that I can cover every topic and be the be all, end all, say all. No, it's impossible. And it's a fruitless pursuit. So I welcome people to call into the show and let's talk about what you want to talk about. Some people might refer to that as viewer's choice. But if you got some, and see, I gave you the number, but we also had this crazy chat room which pops consistently. And so you can get in there if you don't want to, some people for whatever reason like to protect their anonymity, so they don't want to call in for whatever reason, but there's a chat room. So this show is fully interactive, man. Give it up for some old dudes who understand how to navigate the digital landscape.
He's learning, right?
We old, but we know how to work these computers and shit, right? We ain't some old dudes who be like, how you get online? Right? So welcome to Outlaw Radio, man. Speak on it. Real talk. Let's talk about it. I don't want to monopolize this time. And as a matter of fact, if people don't really call in or like talk about, like, tell me how they're feeling, I'm not going to even extend it. We'll just end it early and go to sleep. We need a nap anyways, right? Mr. Carter, welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight?
Hey, man, I'm all right. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk, raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. Hey, mama, there go to see Mouse, man. How y'all doing out there? Make sure y'all pull up to the House of Vitality. It's a real OG shirt. If you're a real OG, you need this shirt. You better pull up before they gone.
There you go. And support black
Like I ain't
business.
gonna get no more, right?
Right. You like before they all gone, right? Let somebody be like, I needed one. You be like, we finna restock, right? Yeah. So most look,
it'll be some more in about 5 days.
All right. Support black business.
For sure.
Especially in times like these in which it's so much uncertainty. We live in a state of uncertainty right now because we don't know what's coming next. We don't know who finna do what. We don't know, you know what I mean? The thing that you take for granted today could be gone tomorrow. Something that it's long been a source of something you depend on. I need to be able to move like this in order to, be where I'm at. So it's important that we patronize each other and support each other. I feel like for far too long, we allowed other people to document our struggles, to write about our struggles. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at all of the great writers, even from the Harlem Renaissance, that wrote about the black struggle in America, and none of it really latched on until the white-owned television stations, NBC, ABC, CBS, put the footage of the firemen spraying the little kids with the hoses in the South. Then everybody said, oh my God, right? And that only tells you a part of the, like a real, like little part of the story, but it's impactful for you to see and say, oh my God, what's going on down there? My point is, we live in a day and time right now in which we can define our own narrative. I don't know if people understand when I speak to the fact that this is a very, very important opportunity for foundational Black Americans to take advantage of the ability to speak with the people via this internet, via social media. You know, this digital thing it's real, it's happening. So if you want to sit, I ain't gonna fuck with that shit. Okay, we'll do what you do, right? We'll meet in the end. Mikey Davis, man, how you doing, homie? My big homie, Mikey Davis. He said, "What up, Outlaw fam? How you doing, brother?" Man, my son is back, man. I'm gonna try to hit this bank, try to catch some fish, man. We probably need to hook up, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't promise you nothing like, no super fragilistic fishing trip, but damn, can go have a good time and shoot for him. Holla at me, Mike. Inbox me, Mikey. But yeah, welcome to Outlaw Radio, man. Viewer's choice, what y'all want to talk about. I'm definitely going to discuss some things that are important to moi, right? But if that's the way I got to dominate my time, I guess that's what I got to do. But I want you all to participate because I know we all feel a certain way about a lot of things, right? And there's so, like, I couldn't even make up my mind where I really wanted to start the show tonight. But I kind of came to a conclusion that it's important for me to talk about. First of all, one of 1.9 million problems in Milwaukee, high-speed deaths. I didn't even document how many crazy, unbelievable car accidents we bore witness to in the last month. And if you're from the community, you've been driving and just kind of roll up on a scene where it might be a car turned over, or it might be some crash into a house, like the most crazy Hollywood stunt movie. And this is the end of, a lot of times these are the end of High Speed Pursuit. So this shit's like real live Smokey and the Bandit. But the problems come from the fact that when one of these stray bullets hits a citizen, hits somebody who is crucial to the community. Case in point, I never met this sister, but her business model for her restaurants in Milwaukee has been doing well for the past few years. Now, I only know her, I don't even know her real name. She's the owner of May Velma's Corned Beef, which is a Black restaurant, right? It's not bad. Wait is a little bit, but there's a demand. And she was taken from us via one of these high speed kind of accidents. And so that's an issue. I'm going to tell you why I'm putting all this on the deck, because we were just told in a speech a couple weeks ago, I just believe it's the State of the City or something, in which things are getting better. Crime is down. Assault is down. Homicide just up a little bit. Well, now Kamar, homicide is up. It's about 10 more victims at this point than it was last year. And it's just now May. The traffic situation, you've built bump outs. You've said, remember the abstract ass statistic he gave, saying it was something like the streets are 7% safer. How in the fuck did you come to 7% safer?
Hey, and again, that's not a lot. That's not nothing to brag about.
Right? Why are you
Remember,
bragging
if
about
you got
that?
100 people, hey, if you got 100, it's not nothing to brag about.
But this is, I'm going somewhere with this tonight, y'all. This is like a derivative of what we see on the national level with our president, who says and just throws any kind of thing at you and you believe it until you look into it and say, hold on, man, that's some bullshit. Okay. So I start locally and first of all, rest in peace and condolences to the family of any individuals who have lost their lives because of this madness. I want to share, like, I don't know if this is a secret, but most of us live on the north side of Milwaukee, people of color, foundational Black Americans. That's where we've been for the better part of the last 70, 80 years since we came here via the Great Migration. Milwaukee's not that big. There's no need for you to smash down Capitol. Like, I mean, at the bridge at 8th Street, that's where it is, and then you go into Shorewood. When you get to 70th, Highway 100, it's Wauwatosa Brookfield. Why do you need to speed? There's no need for you to be high speed driving.
You get
now,
anywhere in 20 minutes, driving the speed limit.
Right. Just it's one of the benefits of this city that people don't understand until they go to a larger city in which you got to go everywhere on the expressway and traffic is shitty. You'd be like, oh, hell no. You here? Listen, even if I get on the expressway, it's dump offs. I'm jump right off there on the boom, boom, boom. I'm back. I'm at the crib. You know what I'm saying? So there's no need to speed. But I do understand that these are the results a lot of times of individuals who say, I'm about to run from the police. I'm not, hey man, I'm about to go. We need to put some shame on their names. At this point, that very thing of, man, I'm finna take these police on the high speed should be some look down upon shit. Like, say, hey man, hold on with that shit, man. Because people who have nothing to do with you are being killed or injured because of you. You're a detriment. You need to be removed from the community. What we say, Kamar, if they're detrimental to the community, what we need to do with them?
Lock their ass up.
Lock their ass up.
It's simple.
Don't free man.
Until y'all can tell me a better solution, lock their ass up.
Don't free man. Incarcerate man. Lock him up.
How about stop man? Shit. How about stop that shit before you get locked up, man?
Right. This is so. That's what I'm saying. It's heavy. It's heavy because I'm driving sometimes, Kamar, but I try my best to be a very defensive driver. I always have in Milwaukee because I know you got to watch, you got to pay attention, right? As I taught my son how to drive, my main concern for him was I felt like he didn't pay attention enough. Like if I'm coming to an intersection, I need to have scanned all directions.
All the mirrors.
And I got to be, you know what I mean? Like I can't, I'm just out here kicking it.
Hey, listen, I was just in the car. We was talking. I'm like, man, listen, when I'm driving, I'm looking a block ahead of me and I could see a block behind me.
There we go.
You know what I mean? Like straight up, you know what I mean? Because that's defensive driving. You got to see what's coming.
Yeah. If you hit your brakes and you 200 feet in front of me, I'm hitting my brakes.
Right.
I'm hitting my brakes.
Well, if I see the car, if I see the car in front of you hitting their brakes, I'm ready to hit mine.
That's what I'm talking about. You can be 200 feet.
No, I'm talking about the car in front of that car.
Okay, you say, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm talking about the car in front of that car.
They done stopped up there. And let me get ready.
If they hitting their brakes, I'm tapping mine.
Yeah, there we go. So shame on it's a lot of things wrong that don't function like they should in our city. And then we start to move into gun violence in the city already. We're having triple shootings. You know what I'm saying? Like we having scenes where little children are being killed, teenagers are being killed, old people being killed. Anybody can get it. And maybe it's because the spotlight kind of tells the story that it's mostly happening to us in our communities. That means it's not it's not prioritized, right? Now I look at how the city has chosen to approach the violence in terms of forming offices, departments, delegation of duty to certain individuals to say, hey, your responsibility is to do that. And we talked about the Office of Violence Prevention. But the funny part is, and this is not just me, not one of those, because we're not going to gang up on them. But I remember, Kamar, way back when we discussed what the actual terminology violence prevention meant, right? It was like mediation. It was like, before anything happens, let's calm this. We didn't necessarily think that it was after something happens, you go in and say, okay, don't nobody else do nothing. Shout out to them brothers and sisters who are very brave, who put their lives on the line to go into those precarious situations. But we didn't think that was necessarily violence prevention. You know what I'm saying? We were saying that's something different. They named the office the wrong thing. I don't know how many people were even agreeing with us at that point, but guess what they did? They renamed it. Yep. They renamed it, right? So, but that's not necessarily working at this point. Shout out to you if you do it, and I'm glad that you're a willing soldier. It's not your fault. It's the officers, the head officers. It's the top of it. And I feel like you're not attacking this from the proper, because your solution now, see, we say lock their ass up. So that means we think the only way out in terms of retribution for young brothers in our community is to lock them up, which is not true. I don't believe that either. I believe that our young men and our young women should say, let's take advantage of the opportunities that we have. Well, it ain't this, it ain't that, it ain't this, it ain't gonna never be this or that. You have an opportunity, take advantage of it. Because when you're without, or when you're out here bad, you go into survival mode. And then I guess we're your prey. Is that fair for us, Kamar? Do I deserve to be somebody's prey because they didn't have a daddy? Nope. Or because they grew up in the ghetto? Or they only had roaches in it? So that means you just shoot me and take my shit? I understand. Right. I don't. It's unfair to us.
Right. Because I worked hard to get my shit.
Right. And here you come. You don't want to do none of the shit I did. You just want to take mine. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it be stupid shit too, because what did you really shoot me over? What was the value of the things that you took from me? If you was trying to rob me or whatever. If you took $5,000 from me, oh, this nigga had 5 G's on him. Is that enough money? Is that what a life is worth? So I guarantee you, bro, you're going to be on the run. So that 5 G's going to disappear quick. So you took my life for nothing. It's a crazy concept. It's very sad too that our leaders have no clue, Kamar. They don't have a clue about what to do about nothing.
Right.
Nothing. If you are out there and you know of something that's being done, when I say our leadership, I'm talking about where it starts at: our mayor, our common council, our county executive, our board of supervisors. If you are at the head of any of these entities, then I'm saying I want to know what you're doing. Let's be transparent. If you can tell me I'm wrong when I say all this shit's failing, I'll retract the statement. I ain't above that. Our police chief, you know how much chaos in our police department we have? There's actually, this just happened recently, a cop who was assisting with the genocide, right? He was working with street cats, this is some straight off the wire shit. He's giving the information straight to the criminal. Imagine how the young cat who had him on his payroll felt. Man, I got the police on my payroll, cuz. We do whatever we want. You know what I'm saying? That's insane. This is a police chief who will come and be passionate at a press conference regarding some violence, but we all just caught you with your pants down a couple months ago trying to go to Texas. You just didn't get the gig. How much are you really vested in this? You know what I'm saying? Like we just caught you, bro. You on Indeed every day. got a press conference. Oh, this is tragic. And it's the same song over and over, in which there's a discussion about this unity between the police and the community. Never happened, never has happened, and never will. The fact that I just talked about an officer who was part of the problem. Now we supposed to link up with. Imagine if you go to him, Kamar, and say, hey, these dudes is threatening my life. They shooting guns outside. All I'm trying to do is tell them, hey, man, y'all move around with the dope saying. You tell him, he goes back and tells them.
Right.
You die. Come on, man. That's why we don't trust y'all. That's why we don't trust y'all. When you got officers who ain't from this area, who have never encountered us because the residency requirement was lifted mysteriously. You bring these white dudes into these hoods, man, they ain't never seen no shit like this. Come on, talking about I'm from Oconomowoc. Motherfucker, this is Burleigh.
Right.
They don't teach that shit at WM. Hell yeah, you scared. I can see 2 young green white officers placed down in the trenches at 1:30 in the morning, and it's hot outside, and they ride and they see some shit. I guarantee you some shit they kept rolling on. Like, I'm not fucking with those niggers. I'm trying to get home to my wife tonight. You're right, Bill. As sad as it is, there's nothing we can do. Stop it. Don't even get me started with MPS. But shout out to the new superintendent. She has come in, Kamar, whooping ass.
Yeah, I saw something today talking about she was just knocked out the box, like cutting this out, cut you out, cut you all this shit. But you know, hey, that shit we were saying we needed, right? Like,
man,
a bunch of motherfuckers don't need to be there, right?
My biggest issue with MPS has always been, even as a former MPS employee, was the bureaucratic hole that central office is. If you have ever worked for MPS, you know this, that when you go there for some business, you got the jerk around. You got, man, what, really? And these people down there making, Kamar, way more than the average teacher. You ever seen a young sister go and discover that they was short on her ends and the police came and beat her up?
Yeah.
What? Come on. But this new superintendent, what is it, 181 positions? Some of them people sitting down there in them offices, you got to go back into the school. Huh? Your ass finna be at Madison next year, bitch. Welcome back to the game. She's required that they have to reapply for their jobs so they can be reclassified and place somewhere else, relocated. You mutant, baby.
They also can reapply for a higher job too, though.
They can, but the fact of the matter is, I'm shaking it.
Right.
You know. I said that's cool. That's what we need.
I think that let them all know that anybody can get it.
Right now, y'all. Hey, what he say?
Right now, anybody can get it.
What did Frank White say? He said, you guys got fed while I starved in prison.
Right.
If a nickel bag gets sold in the park, I want in.
Right.
So that's how she done. I hope she continues it. I hope she continues that, because that 1.5 billion and how many million is missing. This whole story about fraud with MPS in terms of money that has been misallocated is deeper than people want to admit, Kamar. It's a lot of money missing. Right. Over a period of the last 10 years. And an audit is necessary. I don't know if she's going to go to that level and say, you know what? I'm going to do a total system audit. I'm going to do a total organizational audit. Like, I'm going from janitor.
Too.
Yeah, well, that is why she is getting it. She is getting that big.
They probably knew she was finna X a bunch of shit out. Like, okay, we could pay that now.
Yeah, well, she getting money. I think she might be the highest paid one in the city. $200,000, $200,000+ a year.
She gone.
Man, go get that money, sis. But do your job. See, I don't mind if you get that bread and doing your job. The fact that she came in like this whooping ass, like, for me, it's like, okay, that's what we need. I wish other politicians kind of followed that lead. I wish they
Right.
came in and they said, I'm gonna shake this shit up. Ain't gonna be no more of this. Because once again, I've been to central services. Like it's the environment, like there when you go in one of them offices, and it might be three of them. All three of them might look at each other like, you stand there like, excuse me. They literally chilling. You like, excuse me. Oh, hold on, honey. Well, she disappeared in the back to the point where I've been in there where another one says, I don't know where she went. Is there something I can help you with? I've been standing here 15 minutes. And what y'all doing? Y'all ain't doing nothing. Talking about cats and shit. So it's time. It's time. You know what I'm saying? I wish we can get that aldermanically. But the common council is super compromised, man. And I know we criticize aldermen a lot, but imagine the deals that the city has with these contractors and developers, right? Like, so even with zoning, that has a lot to do with your black business. If you find a location and say, hey, I want to open a business here, you're going to have to get a permit for zoning because it might end within that area. There might no retail locations allowed here, right? You won't be able to get such and such license because there's another person who does it 500 feet away, and it says in the zoning that you can't have these two. You know what I'm saying? You muted, Kamar.
I was saying, yeah, it's one up there. It's like that up there by K&G, over there on Brown Deer Road. In that plaza, it's certain shit you can't get in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of types of different businesses you can't put there. And that's one of the reasons why I think it may be so open. You know what I mean? Walgreens do that type of stuff a lot. You know what I'm saying? Where they get it put in there where you can't open another a CVS or something in a certain distance or whatever.
Right.
I think I heard Walgreens do that.
Well, once again, I don't think people are aware of how these elected officials really have something to say about your quality of life. But they're compromised, like we said, Kamar. And you'll see a location sit vacant for a very long time, right? And you'll say, man, I wonder why somebody ain't bought that and because there's been probably plenty proposals that they shot down. Like, nope. Now, if you're really good with an alderman, you can get that alderman. If you get him and you say, hey, man, well, let's change it. Change the zones, like change the zoning thing. That doesn't happen often, but it has happened where a person was like, man, they adjusted it so I could be here and do this, open this business for me. But I think your campaign contribution got to be true. I think you got to put your money where your mouth is, right? But so yeah, I mean that's the breakdown of. So I said they're compromised because we know that the desire, or not even a desire, the achievement, the establishment of gentrification in our city is sitting here looking us right in the face. It's happening. We got to stop saying they're trying to gentrify. They are gentrifying as we speak. You have no movie theater, no mall in downtown Milwaukee, but you got a bunch of luxury apartments. Who the fuck can afford those except for the future gentrifiers? They just there waiting on the resident, the home. Like they're just, okay, I'm gonna stay here a couple years and this market's opening up. People are gonna be moved around. I'll be able to grab me a 2-story Tudor, 2-story colonial, whatever the fuck they call them, right? Chat room popping, man. Dion in the building. He said, my nigga, keep that collar button up to the motherfucking top. He said, what up, Lo? Ace Cooley said, what it do, fellas? I just entered the building. Welcome to the show, man. And we're only 30 minutes in. We just kind of introducing some of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. I was just going down the line of what's already happening in the city in terms of the car deaths and then the homicide, right? And we even talk about our police force being complicit. We know individual was just basically charged with this kind of corruption. So it's Training Day, the movie in real life. But this is Milwaukee. Now, with all that said, what does that mean? Does that mean it's time to move? I don't necessarily think so, Kamar. I don't know, because
it's time to move if you want to move.
if you really want to, right? But
Right.
not like, oh, now I gotta go
Right.
because this just happened.
Right.
And I think it has a lot to do with what you're currently doing as well. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when that shit started hitting really close to you, it is time to move around. Like, damn, three of my guys done got hit or something like that. You know, two of my cousins. Yeah, it's time to say, man, let me move around for a minute. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to relocate to the other side of the earth, God bless you, man, in your travels. But me personally, I feel like the people who are here, who feel like we're not going to move, we've planted our flag. It's time for me to stand and fight. I'm too old to keep moving. And we need to start doing that. We need to start really getting at these people, our elected officials, like they did, holding them accountable for a lot of the dysfunction. It's difficult because you look at this person and say, well, I know you're not the reason that the city's fucked up, but you have a position that's supposed to contribute to it getting better, and you're not doing a good job of it. Is that a fair way to say? You know, because I don't blame one police officer for crime. Like, you ain't doing shit. You a horrible cop, unless he is a horrible cop. I understand that crime is bigger than one cop. Like, crime, especially in our community, crime is a direct result of extreme poverty, generational poverty. Come on, I love for people to talk about why we should be trying to establish generational wealth, but I don't think we talk about the effect of generational poverty enough. I feel like, because you can't teach the future without teaching the past. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's a reason that a lot of us don't understand.
You kind of got to understand how you got there.
Right. Just, don't hang your hat on it.
Right.
Don't use it as a crutch, but say, okay, oh, shit.
We know not to do that no more.
There we go. Right. So we say, come to this convention. $75.99 for an hour or a day. We're going to have breakout sessions. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have all this. We're going to teach you about generational wealth. And that's what that conversation is like all day. You get flyers, you go sit in workshops, you talk to people. But I like to say, if there's nobody there who's going to say, this is why we have not been able to establish generational wealth so far. And really talk about it. And talk about, okay, our wealth. What are we putting out versus what we taking in? And what we do put out, what returns do we get on our investments? You know, a pair of Jordans is not an investment unless you buy the Jordans that he wore in the finals. And it's signed by him. Other than that, you paying $400 for a shoe that came out 30 years ago. And they say these are twos, they're only going to be available 2 months. And then 4 months later, they come back out in a different color. I'm just saying, like, we have to learn. What were we talking about the other night on the show? We have to learn the difference between price and value and quality. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that I'm trying to get deep off into. What did my wife, she called me a utilitarian, and I didn't know what it was. I was like, what you just called me? And then I didn't think it was a thing, right? So I looked it up, and the whole thing is you're seeking out and you're trying to be more efficient in obtaining things that are functional, right? So if I buy a shirt, I'm not worried about what kind of shirt it is. I'm worried about how it can be useful. What is the material? How many pockets does it have on it? How comfortable it is? It don't got to be a name brand. So you'll see me sometimes dressed like I work in an auto shop, because mechanics have the dopest clothes, from khakis to really good button-ups. They should just be oily. I don't work on a car. So my shit's not oily. It's clean. It's pressed. It's teed up, right? To the top, like Dion said. So I didn't know that, but it makes sense. I want my whole life to be like that. I only want to do things. I only want to get things that I can actually use. I don't want to spend a lot of money on something that ain't worth shit just to have it, just to say, oh, this is Gucci. You can only wear them 2 times a year and they're not comfortable. it's not useful. It's not practical. Ace Cooley said, "What did the police do now?" Well, it's more of a continuation of the conversation that was had, or the press conference that was presented after they had I think it was like the first triple murder. That was last week, right? Kamara, with the clip I played, go back and watch that. And his thing was, we need more accountability from the community, and you got to understand what this problem is, and it's not just young people, and it's old people, and it's everybody. And we was just like, yeah, you just got caught trying to leave and go to Dallas 6 months ago. How vested are you? And then we found out you had a cop on your force who was out here thugging and mean mugging, right? Well, that's never stopped. The cop who shot the brother back in the days, Seville, he turned out he's like a gay rapper. He was kidnapping. I can't make this up. He was like going to gay bars, drugging gay dudes, taking them home. And this is the dude who shot the young brother. Do we trust his judgment? That's what made the whole city go up in flames. Do your research. Ace Cooley said Milwaukee is too damn bureaucratic. Government in general, Ace, is it just Milwaukee? Government in general is too bureaucratic. Somebody tell you, Kamar, you're going to have to go to Madison to go to the DMV to get this done. You better pack a lunch. That's what bureaucracy is. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Mr. Carter. Can you go upstairs and go down the hallway and go to room 10B and go to this department? You got to find that motherfucker. Go in there, and sometimes you go in there and you in the wrong damn line. Look up. Oh, shit, I'm supposed to be down there. Okay, if you're going to be in this line, you got to go fill out a form. Which one? The green, the blue one. And after you fill the blue one out and give it to her, she'd be like, now go back and fill out the green one. You know what? I'm just going to drive without license. Right. I don't got time for this shit. I don't have time for it. That's what bureaucracy is. It's just red tape just to hold you up for the fuck of it, right? And so, yeah, our government is very bureaucratic. The city is. Yeah. MPS was really like, City Hall is too, man. I can't think of any place that I've ever gone here that was city or county operated that was just boom, flowing smoothly. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Barnes? It's good. Here go what I can. Thank you, sir. Aching, boom, you done. No. It's always some crazy shit going on. So, yeah. But I feel like Milwaukee is an acquired taste. And we can spotlight the violence that we have here. We all know. But I also wager this question. In terms of communities that we primarily live in, where across this country is a place that it's not happening? Tell me that place, and then I'll say, let's go there and take notes from them and bring them back and implement them into Milwaukee. I get it. People say, Kev, I'm out. It's more opportunities other places. But what you got to do if you go there is stay away from us. Right? So if you move to New York, you don't move to the projects in New York and then be like, Kev, I'm thriving out here. You got to get a good job where you live right, like probably outside the city. Where you be like, damn, I live in this area where there ain't even that many black people. I'm really, what people are saying to me when they say I got to leave is I got to get away from niggas. I need some off time. I got to get away from y'all. Because it's a lot that comes with us. And I understand it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, wherever you are, hold the individuals that your tax money goes to compensate, that's steadily playing your face with fake ass press conferences, that sell you twists and you can give me some statistics, but the average person doesn't understand that statistics can be skewed. It only takes one research mistake to skew a statistic. Now you living off bad information for years. So, that's just my little criticism of the city, man. When you think about the way this city is governed, Kamar, you're a businessman, and because everything I was saying about the zoning and getting these permits so you can operate, man, I gotta go to City Hall. You ain't gonna be, I'll be in and out in 30 minutes. Nah.
Right. Depending on what you're doing, right. A little transparency, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was one of my fears. Okay. When I got legal, attempting to get legal, that was one of my fears, man, going to deal with them people down there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I pushed it back, and then finally I just really had to, because it was time now, you know what I'm saying? And then I went down there and faced them people, man. But like you say, you ain't in and out. Usually you're gonna go in, they're gonna send you somewhere else around the corner. Then you're gonna have to go back there, and you gotta go around the corner just for a signature or something. And then you know what I mean? Then you gotta go back and show proof that you got the signature and paid something, and then they give you this license. Now you find out you got to get another license, and man, they make that shit hard for you. They make it hard, you know, like not like, but they make it hard because see, I feel like when I was going through it, I was feeling like it was my first time, so I was feeling like they doing everything they can to deter me from going legal. Right. They want me to just keep hustling. And really, I was cool with that. I've been doing that my whole life. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the level when you could do it legally. You know what I mean? And I just feel like with us, and a lot of that stuff is for us. Because, you know, we hate jumping through hoops and shit. We hate going here and going there to do this and do that. And you know what I'm saying? That ain't us. We want the easy route. We want the quick route. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be able to go pay my rent in this building and load this motherfucker up.
Right.
With products, you know what I'm saying? But you can't do that. You got to go places, call people. Then you got to wait on an older person to approve you. And you know what I'm saying? And then that's the most shit. That's usually where most people wait the longest.
For that,
and to get zoned out for their occupancy. Those two things. And usually that occupancy and the zoning, that go hand in hand. You know what I mean? They do. Because you know what I'm saying? The older person got to approve you to be there. So that's what you be waiting on. One of the hardest parts.
And that's a gem. And I hope if anybody's doing any kind of consultations or speaking to people about starting a business, they're telling them that.
Yeah, like, you gotta know what you in for. You know what I'm saying? And that's also why you gotta love what you're doing.
That's right. Passion got to push you.
And if you don't love what you're doing, you may get discouraged.
Passion got to push you.
Straight up.
And that's what you just said. You was kind of resenting it, saying, I don't really want to do it. But eventually that passion took over. You said, man, listen.
I want to do it legally. You know what I mean? I want to be able to talk my shit out here.
Yeah. James Brown said, get up off of that thing and maybe you'll feel better.
Straight
up. or Parliament, George Clinton come along and say, free your mind and your ass will follow, right?
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah,
that's so real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's in terms of, okay, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Hey, look, my bad, but then to take it a little further.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You got to get with the health department and deal with that shit. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you, it's always something like, and I told everybody, like I told the first health department person that came, I said, listen, I'm a blank chalkboard. Tell me everything I need to know the right way so I can be correct, continue. I mean, you know what I mean? As I continue, because they may do a pop-up checkup on you, you know what I mean? So you got to know everything. But the problem be this: different health inspectors go by different shit, got their own thing. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And I told them this when I told them, I said, you know, I really feel like y'all should be trained by the same people or the same person with the same rules, the same guidelines. You know what I mean? Because one person may say your labels are correct. You know what I mean? You ain't got to do nothing. Yep. Like I had a problem, right? Perfect example. At my store, my labels are perfect. They correct. But then a different health inspector went to Sherman Park Grocery and said they didn't like the way my labels was. You did what I'm saying?
Same labels. And it's the same labels. That's
same
already
label, same exact labels. Same all the information on there that they're supposed to be on there. You know what I'm saying? But because they different, they got different standards and shit. And they allow this shit, man.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question.
And look, my bad, one more thing. And I would hate to go down there raising hell about this shit and wind up with a target on my back. You know what I'm saying? it's like they kind of got you, like fuck, man.
Now, okay? Because I know this might be something different, but so say you had a brick and mortar, right? That was away from the Sherman Phoenix, right?
Right.
You would have, especially as the owner of this building, you would have to answer because your food is one of your products, right? You'd
Right.
have to deal with a health inspector, but as the owner of the building, you'd have to deal with a property inspector too,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
Make sure your
Yep.
building's up to
Dig
code.
this. The health inspector gonna check the building.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? You ready to open your business and the health inspector like, hold on. You supposed to have a hole in the floor under the sink. Or you know what I'm saying? And you didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Or they may come and check your plumbing, the pipes and shit, the electricity and shit, and you know what I mean? Shit you never thought that they checked.
But a lot of that with the health inspectors is because you sell edible, like food, right?
Yeah.
Perishables. But I'm saying, like, if you just own the building,
Right. Yeah.
because
You know what I mean? You got to deal with both of them then.
right. Because when I was a landlord, I had inspectors who would, you get a letter, hey, somebody dumped some trash behind your house.
Yeah.
And you call, and it's a certain inspector, right? Like, and so it wasn't the health because I had proper.
Right.
I had
yeah,
houses,
you're right. You're right. That's what I say. You have to deal with both now.
Both of them. That's crazy. Man.
Yeah, that's crazy as shit. You know what I mean?
She worked hard for the money.
You fuck around and get 2 fines.
Yeah, man. God damn,
the same damn
closed. Thing. Look, we closed Tuesday.
I quit.
We closed, right? You don't go work at Chipotle and shit, right?
Yeah. Now, now also you can get a brick. You could go to a brick and mortar that somebody else owns. You know what I mean? You in there, you doing good. You know what I mean? You done passed the health inspections and everything, but then the tiling or something start going bad a little bit somewhere in your establishment. The health department to do a pop-up or whatever that is, you know what I mean? And that's on the owner now. But the problem is you got a problem because it's your business.
Right. And so until he get it fixed,
you
paused.
Right.
You paused. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You like, hey,
you know what
man.
I mean? It's so many different issues, you know what I'm saying? But like I say again, you really gotta love what you're doing, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Your passion, it gotta fuel the purpose.
Man, thank you, sir. Ace Cooley said, I agree, cuz motherfuckers will have you jumping through hoops of fire. I'm telling you, man, my experience, and I always talk about MPS because it was so exhaustive at a certain point when I worked for them, where it's just like, come on, man. Like seriously, like I went up, you sent me upstairs. I went up there. They told me come back down here. You told me I asked you for the wrong thing. So you sent me to a different place. I went in there, and in order for me to get what I needed, they sent me to a different place. Like I understand that's bureaucracy. I understand that that's meant to make me say, you know what? I ain't even going. Like you said, man, I ain't fucking with them.
Right.
I ain't doing that shit. And a lot of us, we will sit on our hands because of that. Mama Jenkins said, good evening, my outlaw family. What's the matter in Milwaukee? Daily killing as today, there have been 45 homicides in 2025. Not to mention the deaths by car accidents. There's no accountability from leadership. There's no plans in place with a solution for the people. All these people in leadership have lived in this city more than 25 years, and they know this is the worst of the worst. That's how we started the show, Mama Jenkins. Shout out to Mama Jenkins. Shout out to Mama Jenkins, most definitely. That's how we started the show, talking about the traffic, the homies, the lack of accountability from the police department, right? It's failing. It's failing. And somebody got to come in and right the ship. But the crazy thing is everybody kind of deflects. Well, this ain't on me. What Nino Brown said, I ain't going out by myself. So, yeah. But the question is still sitting there for us is, what we going to do about it? What we going to do? I'm not encouraging nobody to start cocktail bombing or none of that. I'm saying, let's clean house. Let's start hitting these individuals with lists of demands. And I know if Dion is listening, he like, Kev, we can't use our vote as a bargaining chip. Bullshit. I feel like we need to use it as a bargaining chip because of the bureaucracy. All you really have is your vote. You see what I'm saying? That's all you really have, because this change was needed in MPS for a very long time. Obviously, the leadership has been just ineffective and fraud and flawed. But the individuals on the school board were not demanding any accountability. Now, guess how they get their jobs? They're elected officials. And they sign off on everything that the senior leadership does in MPS. So ultimately, the school board is responsible for the malfeasance. Yes, I said it. Malfeasance. Go and look it up. Go Google it. Right? But yeah, so once again, what does our vote mean? See, if we ain't using our vote as a bargaining chip, I can't go to the school board and say, hey, man, financially get this shit together or we're going to get your ass out of here. You understand what I'm saying, Kamar? Like, I should be able to go to my alderman and say, hey, I know you guys are compromised in some regards because of some of the deals that the city's made with developers, and we know construction is big business.
But man, if you come at him like that, man.
Well, that's the truth. That's how it is, though, Kamar. Like,
this smart ass. This yeah, it's the truth. It's definitely the truth.
I stand accused.
Talk about the way you worded it, the way you brought it to it.
I mean, that's just like I want
motherfucker.
I just want them to be, as because I want to show them that as a citizen, I'm fully transparent and I understand what you're doing.
Right.
I understand. Look, you as in one alderman from one district, no, you can't make the world turn. But see, the key to being an alderman is you sit on certain committees, Kamar. And depending on how good you is, the more powerful the committee is that they appoint you to.
Right.
Other than that, you sitting in meetings, zoning, licensing hearings, complaints, whether or not to give somebody their license back to operate their business or to deny somebody or those kinds of things. The biggest thing that you do is you sit on a committee. So that is what our government consists of. And shout out to Lena Taylor, because when now Judge Lena Taylor used to come on our show, the one thing she used to always emphasize is people criticize me all the time, but they don't really understand civics because they criticize me about shit that my office ain't got nothing to do with. So that tells me you don't know who you should be calling. So when you see me, you like, so you want me to tell them, hey man, people pissed off at you. No, you got to call him. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I this whole thing, because we got to talk about Trump, which I said I'm going to try to not really lean on Trump every time we do a show. Trump, argue with a bunch of people, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. I'm just getting to the point, Kamar, where I only want to discuss brass tacks when it comes to Trump, right? So we talk about the tariffs, because these tariffs, if a lot of people didn't know, they know now. When we talk about a global economy, a lot of people who really don't understand economics thought that, oh, I can buy my shit from the store in the hood and or this store that's a big ass, conglomerate franchise, and it goes to their bosses and then they pay us. That's how business goes. Now, a lot of us hadn't thought about our dependence on overseas microchips, TVs, phones. In America, we love any and everything electronic, Kamar. Electronic and digital is our favorite fucking words.
Right.
When it comes to we got to have our TVs, we got to have our phones, we have to have our car radios, we have to have whatever convenience that you enjoy in your household. I got Amazon. You in the house talking about or you got your iPhone talking about, Siri, what is the name of the show you used to watch back in the day? Alexa, to flush the toilet. Now, where do we get these products from? How are they made? From things that we're dependent on manufacturers overseas for. We're going to bring them jobs back to America. It's a reason why America doesn't do those jobs. We don't want to build TVs and make $7 an hour. Ain't nobody signing up for that shit. In other places, they'll do it. So when you start saying, I'm going to place a tariff on this person and that person in that country, that just means it's going to cost us more to get things. The ones at the top got to pay more to get it, Kamar. So who ultimately has to pay the markup? The consumer. A TV that's $200 turns into a TV that's $500, right? You see what I'm saying? So my whole point is this tariff shit. I don't know. He tried to do a Mexican standoff with China, right? Only to get back to where we was originally. Do you know it's businesses that have closed down because of the collapse of the market and the uncertainty of how this was going to look because they were scared of these tariffs? That's his fault. That's his fault. I know people, I get the fact, Kamar, people want to be optimistic about President Trump, in particular black people. Because one thing black people love is when they tell you something and you didn't believe them and it came true. You know how he is, Kamar. I told these motherfuckers. I've been saying this shit years ago. Yeah, you a prophet, my nigga. What you want?
I don't know nothing.
I don't know the future.
You ain't gotta listen to me.
Right. Don't act like I ain't said that. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and we've done that on the show. We've done that. That's how I know we do it. Because we said, man, we told y'all. We told y'all 2-3 years ago. So there's a lot of us who are waiting on Trump to do something good so that we can show everybody else how we knew something that they didn't know. And to me, that's so petty. That's so petty. it's so minimally effective, right? Like it's so like for anybody who really want to, puff his chest out, because out of these whole 85, 90 days he's been in office now, you pick one thing and say he did that. You so petty. You're so petty. Let me give you one of these. I want to tell all black Trump supporters something. We don't need you to convince us. You don't have to call me every time it looked like he did something good and be like, see, I told you the president a good man. I don't need you to do that. Like, let it play out. Here's the biggest thing that I think people need to understand. Say the things he's proposed and the things he's put into place turn out to be very fruitful for America. Guess what? I'm man enough to say, I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was fucking up. I didn't think the shit would work. I'm waiting on something to happen like that where I said, shit, he did that. Am I supposed to get excited because transgenders can't be in the military anymore? What else has he done? Oh, the bathroom situation, I guess, is supposed to be coming to clarity, right? Like it's just men and it's women. The only two legal genders in America is men and women. See, I'm playing the role right now of a black MAGA supporter. I'm telling you, Kamar, all the good things Mrs. Trump has done for us. Does this conversation sound like familiar to you? No, Kamar, you don't understand. He's a good man.
He feeds us every other day.
He done brought the price of medication down. That's not even his call. That's not even his call. So I'm just saying, whenever it's fine for anyone who wants to be a Republican, who wants to be conservative, who wants to even think in more of a traditional conservative way, because they feel like that's their pathway to getting money. Like they feel like I'm gonna start doing what they do, and that's how I'm gonna get the money, right? And I've said a long time, we spend a lot of time complaining about shit, complaining about the game, but we don't spend a lot of time playing the game.
Right.
Meaning, if they have special interest groups, where are ours? If they have lobbyists, where are ours? Right? If they have political action committee, where are ours? Ones that are effective. That's what they do. That's how they play the game, right? So I'm just saying, I get why they might. Well, I'm so far ahead of everybody, and most of the time, brother, sister, you're not ahead of us. You don't know no more than us. I do like appreciate the fact that social media gives individuals to establish a platform, and like minds can unite, Kamar. So there's those individuals out there who feel the same, can say, yeah, man, that's why I listen. That's why I watch everything you put up. I watch all your videos. You got a fan. But it still don't make you right. Still don't make you right. Still doesn't make you right. Dion, he said, motherfucker calling in. My fault, Dion. I don't see it. Let me see. You know me and this phone, man. I don't see it. Let me make sure my doohickey is doohickey. Computer got approved, right? Hit me up, Dion. Let me know if you got success. I don't see you. I don't see a call. Ernest Walker. Shout out to Ernest Walker. Shout out to Ewalk the Great. He said he's erasing Black history. Can you erase Black history, Kamar?
No, unless we erase it, unless we stop talking about it, unless we stop pushing it. White people can't erase Black history.
The amazing thing is they kept it out of what they call textbooks.
They can do that.
But we still learned it.
Right.
We still learned it. So can you erase it? I don't think his attempts, Ernest, I would agree with you in that. I mean, they even fired the sister who was over the library, right? Like, that's message. Dion, I do got you loud and clear, I believe. Can you hear me, my brother? Hold on. Something ain't computing. Like I said, let me get my signals right. I've jumped in the habit of resetting my phone whenever I come into the studio, because it sometimes it just won't pick up my calls. And this time what I need to do is add you to my Bluetooth. So I just got to Bluetooth you through the board. So give me a second, Dion. But yeah, man, I just, once again, I believe that a lot of us vote against our own interests intentionally. A lot of us convince ourselves that in order for me to make it, I got to be anti everything, Kamar. Which can you really disagree with? Like, we know, Kamar, there's an alternate pathway to knowledge, understanding, wisdom, whatnot, right? Like, we can't really jump on what they've told us. We can't really be depending on things that will never happen. You know, any kind of program or rescue. Like, even with reparations, there's a lot of people who say, well, reparations will never happen. I think the biggest reason reparations won't ever happen is because of us. Because we've convinced ourselves that we can't get it. It's almost like we don't feel like we're worthy of reparations, to be honest with you, my brother. So I you know, all the time I say, why you say that? Why do you say that? Man, these white folks, they ain't gonna. So you've given up before there's even a fight. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, be careful what you wish for. That's what I say all the time. Be careful what you wish for. Now, Kamar, I didn't even get to ask you this because we weren't on Monday. How was your weekend, man? We just kind of jumped on it. How was your weekend?
My weekend was cool, man. It was cool. It was relaxing. Yeah, it was dope, man. It was dope.
What'd you get into?
What did I get into? I held the store down for a while. I held the store down. Wait, what else did I do Saturday? Oh yeah, me and my lady got out. She got a new car.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, that happened Saturday. What else happened this weekend?
What y'all get? Y'all got a Rolls Royce?
Not yet, man. That's
okay.
coming. Not yet. Nah, man, we got a Denali, a 2015 Denali.
There we go. The big boy.
Yeah, no, it's that little one. It's the smaller one.
Okay, I thought you had the big boy.
It's just a 2-row.
Yeah, you had that $100 beast, that $100,000 beast.
Oh no,
CMOS is selling well around this place.
It's coming. All that shit's coming.
Yeah. You know what? I had a cool weekend, man. I'm just not in a situation where I'm really active all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because like I said, this is kind of bipolar, but I know it's real now because I look at my grass, I look at the dandelions, and I look at the amount of birds and rabbits and chipmunks that's running around my house right now. So I know they say it's about to be 50 degrees next week, but I know this is spring. This is summer we going into. I know the season has officially changed. Dion, I think I got you now. What's going on?
Hey man, how you doing, man? I hear all you guys, man. No, ain't nothing
Good.
to love, you know. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. It's Monday.
I
It's
can't, you
Wednesday.
know, we just sitting back looking at all this. You know, I think I'm kind of like you. You know, I really want to not hear nothing about dude. You know, because every time you hear something, is just fuckery. Like you said, he fired the black lady from the Library of Congress because he felt like that was woke. He about to cut out a lot of Section 8 housing vouchers, energy assistance, because we feel like that's woke. You know, like the other day when you said you want to go pick up your son, and I guess I didn't make the senses all the way when I was like, you gonna borrow Trump's $400 million airplane? You know, he allowed the South Afrikaners. You know, it's just, and you know, we have a silly motherfucker call and be like, he's not racist. You know, and it's just like,
Wow.
you know, I don't know, man. You know, it's just, it's really sickening that there's nothing that could be done, and it's like, okay, you know, like the people be like, you know, you and everybody else, you know, we got to vote in the primary to try to get, you know, Congress, you know, to flip the Congress, and it's like, man, this shit is just, it's just a nightmare, man. You know, and it's so sad. You know, and I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I'm still looking forward to seeing a lot of the red states hurt. A lot of the white people. Oh, here go another one. You know, white people talking about they're tired of they're tired of black fatigue. I don't even know what the fuck that is. You know, that's something like, we tired of you stupid ignorant. You know, like this is like the other day, right, on Mother's Day. I'm on the elevator. Now I don't know if white people really think all black people want to be their friends, because I know I'm not one that really want to be your friend. And you know, you see them and they'll look at you and second guess. And I be wanting to really say it, you know, because I'm real blunt and candid. You know that about me. And I just be wanting to say, listen, I don't want you on this. Matter of fact, I don't even like white people. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I deal with y'all because it's like dealing with a cold. You know, you get sick every once in a while, but you really don't want to get sick. But fuck it, it's part of life. I don't like you motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? So I would prefer for you not to be on this elevator, because you know, like, I don't know why white people think that we just want to gravitate towards them. Like, I don't like you. You're a cancer to the world. You know, and literally, these people have destroyed everything that they touch. When they footstep, when they took a foot on each continent, they killed animals. They had hunted animals to the brink of extinction. They had killed ethnic people, washed them. It's Native Americans that we don't even know because they ain't around no more. What was the people over there in New Guinea? I can't think right now because I'm trying to eat me some. The people over there in Australia, you know, because those white people over there in Australia, like, these people are literally a cancer to the world. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, like, that's why sometimes I sit up and, you know, this is me, and I question God, because I sit up and I be like, God damn, why would you make such a despicable form of human being to walk the face of the earth? Like, if it weren't for them, everybody would probably live in harmony. Like, no bullshit.
I
You
don't
know
know
what I'm
about
saying?
that, but
Like,
okay.
no, for real though, because I be listening, I be looking at so much shit. Like, they went over there in Africa. And then that's just like me going next door to your neighbor. And I said, well, this is why Kevin don't like you. And that's why a lot of countries in Africa split, because white colonialists went up in there and they put poison in their brain. And sometimes if you plant a seed and water it long enough, it's gonna grow. You understand what I'm saying? So when you just sit back and watch this man, he went on news and I don't care if they're black and blah 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 blah. And I'm listening like you're talking to people like don't know what apartheid was. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people went over there. You know, like, do white people really think they own everything? Like,
Well, let's so in order for us not to be all over the place, right? Because I want people to be focused. Let's talk about Trump and Musk and these individuals who chose to create a safe place, right, for South Africans, right? Now, first of all, let's not miss the fact that for a long time, we have stated on this show that Trump is a white nationalist. That's what he is. That's who he has surrounded himself by. And once again, he told us months ago that he wanted to do this. Initially, the South Africans, it was reported as, they said, "Nah, we good." But now, the story is, people say, why is this even happening? The story is that Africans in South African, the real Africans in South Africa, is it 91% black? Well, I say black, but they're not black, they're Africans. It's 91%. And the system of apartheid that my brother just spoke to existed for maybe 60, 70, since they stepped foot off the boat, right? Because we know colonialism in Africa is kind of crazy, right? And so now that the majority has gotten a hold of the government, there are some individuals who go and take farms. They're seizing land. They are murdering the owners of these lands. This has been happening a while. Now, we over here, especially as foundational Black Americans, because we the smart asses of the African family. Foundational Black Americans, we got the smart mouth. We the bad kids, right? We like, hey, that's what they ass get for what happened in with apartheid. But our president has said, you know what? We need to help white people globally. We can't have white people getting beat down. So he provided asylum to them here in the United States of America. That is a hellified white nationalist move, Dion. That is an example. So any Black person who says, oh man, Trump ain't racist. Trump has kicked out. So he's come here and started mass deportations for individuals who are actually here working, contributing to the country. Now, I know the onus is we're going after those immigrants, illegal immigrants who are committing crimes. I get that. But you're kicking people who are here out, bringing in South African white people. This is reinforcing. Look, this is reinforcing their rank, Kamar. Because you say, what was everybody saying? The
Remember, I told you they ain't producing fast enough. Everything they doing right now is to keep them in place in the United States. They need more white people.
What do? You bring
in white
South
people.
Africans. Now they're going to be empowered over here. Pretty soon they'll have their own communities here.
They is.
You know what I'm saying? So
we still can't let that break our spirit. We can't let that get us down and have us depressed and shit. Because even still, like we said before, no matter who's the president, no matter what's going on, we still got to handle our business. We still got to feed our families. We still got to get some money. It's never been easy. We can't think it was finna get easy if you didn't bring it. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is we still got to get to it.
This is true, but this is for me, I guess what I'm saying is, for Black people, foundational Black Americans who want to continuously say, what do you mean he's racist? Why do you say that? What do you mean? Like, and he ain't done nothing to us and all this kind of thing, but his attacks on us are more passive aggressive. Like my brother said, by going after our history, how it's written, how it's taught in public schools, completely trying to twist the narrative so that future generations eventually will get to the point where they'll be like, what? Black people used to be slaves? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you keep muddying the water, eventually you won't be able to see the bottom. Shout out to Earl Henning. He said Orlando. Wow. Orlando. Y'all know Orlando be out there. He gonna call in. Ewok said he's trying to erase our history. No, once again, I agree with my brother. I think, but I don't agree with him on, well, they're the cancer of the earth and they're all scum and I hate them. And I'm not moving like that. I think people are people. You know what I mean? Like, I think everybody deserves a right to live their life. But when you become an individual that violates someone else, then to me, that's when your ass should be removed. And I reserve the right to judge you until I really get to know you and see who you really are. See, I can accept it. If you show me, hey, man, I'm just a white guy. I don't like Black people. I don't fuck with y'all. I can accept that, Kamar. I'm not gonna be
Right.
like, hey man, but just love me. I'm human. Come on.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
oh,
you ain't gotta like me. Shit.
right. Fuck around and find out. Mama Jenkins in the chat room, she said the history of black folks can never be erased. It's too many of us on the land. Condolences to the family that lost their lives in the fire, and prayers for the ones that were without a home due to someone's sickness. I'm still wondering why this city would grandfather a building with that many people living there to not have sprinklers. So supposedly the property requirements, the codes before was 1968 or something, you didn't have to have smoke detectors, you didn't have to have a sprinkler system. How did that sit on the books for so long in such a huge apartment complex? Whose responsibility is that, Kamar? Is that city and property inspectors, or is that health inspectors? Somebody should have been picked that up and say, man, we can't have this many people living in this building with no fucking sprinklers.
Right.
It takes for people to die like this for you to do. Oh, come on, man. Once
Right.
again, leadership, it's not personal, it's professional, it's business. You might be a nice guy, but you're part of this ineffective leadership structure that we have here in this city. Ace says, truthfully speaking, Trump shit ain't gonna work. He's using old ads tactics against a highly more intelligent population. Hey man, I'm going, because I just talked about when black people, we like to tell you when we told you something you didn't believe us, right? We just laughed about that. But I said the only thing that's gonna fix this is the thing that created it, and that's the people. Believe it or not, people have been frustrated with our government on such high levels from a bunch of different perspectives that they created this. America created this problem because they voted for him. People say, Kev, the election was stolen. If it was allowed to happen, that also took people's involvement too, right? That meant some people had to be involved in brushing it off. My whole point is, the people created it. The people are going to have to fix it. That's the only way we're going to be able to fix it. And our faith, we've been saying on this show, our faith is in the people to say, hey man, enough is enough, bro. You gotta move around. So that's where my faith is, because you don't, what else do you have? And I think a lot of rich people and a lot of politicians need to realize the fact that the people make the world go round. You can only be a fraud, right? You can only be fake for so long. It's gonna come down to the people. It always has on this planet. It always has. Mama Jenkins said that part about his shit ain't gonna work. Earl Henning said, or $500,000 to put a sprinkler system. The man that built it, she was just sitting back collecting rent. Whatever that, if you're gonna get, because you should be generating a lot of cash, man. You got to pay to play. If you got a building of that size with that many people, but you'll come in on a small business, man, you'll come in and get in his ass about any and everything. See, we were just talking about the difficulties and the hoops you got to jump through to start a business in this city, for whether it be occupancy, whether it be permits, all these kinds of things. But here's this huge building that's been getting money for forever, and they don't even have a sprinkler system. But it's not in the code, so I didn't have to do it. He said he didn't win the election. The Democrats gave that shit away. He won it though, Ace. I don't know what's the difference between somebody giving it to you. You still won it, right? I don't know. Dion, do that make sense to you? He didn't win it. They gave it away. What is he saying? Okay, they gave up early. To me, he won it. That was my point. He is the president.
I don't know, because I've been hearing a lot of shit. But I just, like the other day when Jasmine Crockett was on the one show, her fine ass, she was like, the Democrats just didn't resonate to the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why people are so against, like, woke, because they felt like the Democrats was woke. It's for the LGBTQ. You know what I'm saying? They're against highly educated people. And they was like, Trump just kept it simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, they said that the Democrats will have to come up with a whole new game plan. They'll have to come up with a whole new strategy. Slogans and shit. Like, dude been saying, make America great for the last, how long has he been running? And he just kept it simple. He didn't try to intellectualize anything. He didn't try to go over people's head. He just kept it simple, and that resonated to people. You know, a lot of working class people that felt like the Democrats was looking down on them. You know, the Democrats were just for the elites and stuff like that. And then, you know, like with us, you know, that I found out, and I'm not going to say every black person, because some people felt like dude can handle the economy, which I don't see that. But a lot of black people really, we were against the immigration thing. Like when the immigrants was coming over here and they was getting that money, that really upsetted us, because a lot of us, you know, and I can't speak for everybody, but I just, that's what I kept hearing out here. You know, that was the majority of things I hear when I'm listening to a lot of podcasts, or even when I'm listening to talk radio. You know, they talk about the immigrants, but a lot of people don't understand that money that the immigrants was getting, that money was already allocated for them. So regardless if the immigrants would have never came here, you weren't going to get that money, because that money was solely allocated for a certain specific thing.
So the problem is the problem is with the allocated, not the allocator, in which it should be in reverse. We should be mad at the individuals who allocated that money as opposed to the people who received it. Right? Like, you know what I mean? So and you've said that a million times. And once again, your understanding of situations kind of dictates how you move in regards to your responses to it. And we know that a lot of people wanted the short version, Dion. They didn't want to jump in and have to learn and have to understand some things. Sometimes people are intimidated by the things they don't know, right? So like, so you'll say, hey man, you should go do this. And then the person say, well, I don't know how to do that. And you say, here, this is all you got to do. Go down there and do this. And the person will say to themselves, I already know I got limitations in that department. Maybe their reading comprehension ain't tight. Maybe their, you know, speaking skills ain't tight. So as a result, they'll sit on their hands and not even pursue it at all. And just be with doubt. You know what I'm saying? Because, and then somebody, if they do, somebody comes and pushes them and says, no, you got to go. A lot of times they go and do it or figure it out and say, man, I was so intimidated by this for so long. I should have been did this. Kamar just talked about this. He didn't want to go downtown and deal with the people to do what he needed to do for his business, because it was a lot of anxiousness. It was a lot of, you know, stress and anxiety of going through those hoops. But once he did it, now he's like, I'm glad I did it, and I should have done it a long time ago. Mama Jigga said there's 85 units in his building, and the landlord actually lived there. 85 units.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. The landlord lived there.
85 units is crazy work. What if you and listen, say you charge $1,000 a month. I don't know how much the rent was there, but say you just charge $1,000 a month, and you have 85 units. How much money is that a month?
Shit, $85,000.
It's $85,000 a month. And you don't have a sprinkler system? Come on, man. But it's legal. It's legal. Shout out to DeVille Willis. How you doing, my brother? Q Love out in Vegas. How you doing, my brother? Thanks for supporting the Outlaw family. DeVille Willis says, good evening, Outlaws. Like I said, Ernest said Trump fixed that election. The Democrats just didn't say shit because they didn't want to be accused of what he accused them of. Wow, that's
I
goofy.
can believe that.
That's goofy. I ain't gonna say nothing about him cheating, because then I'm gonna be guilty of what he said I was doing. If he cheated, fuck what I said. I don't know. That's a twisted logic, Ernest. That what that suggests to me, that people are more confused than I even thought they were.
The Democrats try to play too nice though, and he wasn't playing by the book. You know what I'm saying? As long as they keep on trying to play by the book, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? And that's just reality of things. Right?
They said, truthfully speaking, the Democrats just showed us they done with messing with us. Well, I don't know why they would come that. I don't know why they would do that to us when we still voted 85% for them.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing too. A lot of black people felt like the Democrats weren't doing nothing for them.
Well, but what I'm saying is, I don't think the message from this election is that black, because it's not black. That's like saying by this logic, it was our fault. It wasn't. 85% of our vote that voted. I don't know what what's the percentage of black people who didn't vote. Somebody may have that breakdown. But if 85% of voters voted for them, they can't look and say, oh, we ain't messing with y'all. They should be looking at Latinos and white women saying, we ain't messing with y'all. White people, white men, because those are the people that put him in office. Black people did not put Trump in office. That's not on us. That's not on us.
Well, in a way, they kind of did because they didn't get out there and vote, like you said. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we can't say that until we know what the percentage was. What was the turnout? I thought it was 35, 40%. I don't know what the actual black voter turnout. I can go look it up on what the total black voter turnout for the presidential election. What was it? I know it's been low in the past, but I don't think it was that low in this one, y'all. Like once again, I just hear people trying to blame us. And if the Democrats is like, oh, we off y'all, then that means they're trying to blame us. But here's the thing. You can't blame us because you didn't even present a black candidate. She wasn't black.
That's another thing.
That's what black people
talking about.
Right. That's what black people kept saying. So then how you gonna be like, we ain't messing with y'all? Well, we'll be like, well, we see. You put an Arab up, Arab/Jamaican. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's ebb and flow. I think the historically Republicans and Democrats have always gone back and forth. At one point, one party has the advantage. At one point, the other party has the advantage. It's always upset. It's always back and forth, man. Sooner or later, the Democrats will find they candidate and put all their resources and their juice behind him, and he'll have everybody go. Like they came out the blue with Barack Obama.
Man, dude's gonna be damaged so much shit though. In the world, well, he's cleaning it up.
I don't think he's going to be the end of America. I really don't. I don't think Donald Trump or his regime are strong enough to destroy America. I think they can fuck it up. But first of all, he's in his early 80s. How much longer? I don't want to put nobody in the ground, but how much longer does he have? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
He said,
yeah, he's doing a lot of shit, though. You know what I'm saying?
This is Ace. He said, shit, Kev, all we can do is vote. A lot of us don't feel like they didn't honor. A lot of us don't feel like they didn't honor their promises with shit, like the George Floyd Policing Act. Once again, this is where people get this whole discussion twisted. I am not a Joe Biden groupie. I am not a Democrat. At the same time, I'm not a Republican. So where they dropped the ball at, I'm willing to call them on the floor about it. Matter of fact, we said when Biden got elected, you'd have to go back years on these shows. It's about 300 shows on YouTube. If you ever want to say, well, they keep saying they've been saying this for years, go on YouTube. We have 350 plus shows. You can go all the way back 11 years almost, and you can hear it. This is what we've been saying. We called that out when when Biden promised that to us and the Democrats, law enforcement reform. It didn't happen. Matter of fact, they came out and said that it wasn't going to happen. Same thing as if you remember when these tax increases were announced in the city of Milwaukee, right? Everybody was upset about it. They put some fire to the mayor's ass. They put some fire to the city, the county executive's ass. And what they said was, oh, don't even worry about it because it's going to be some litigation behind this. That made people say, oh, okay, we feel better. Soon as he got elected, he said, nah, ain't going to be no litigation. Ain't nobody even call him out on that. So, yeah, politicians exist to lie to you and mislead you. So, but I guess if you want to flip that and say Trump, on the other hand, has done everything he said he was going to do. He has. To a certain degree. But the only thing is that he promised you what he would do would be fruitful. And so far, none of it's turned out to be positive for this country. So, we get on the Trump thing and it just goes on and on. That's why I don't like even, talking about it. I'm at this point, Dion, I got my popcorn. I'm just watching this movie. I got my favorite characters and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's all you can do. Right. But this is like a slap in American face, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna do?
Well, they slapped themselves. He told you what he was gonna do.
Why, with the airplane situation, he about to get a $400 million airplane. And you know what I'm saying? Like, they be talking about people that accepted this and accepted that.
Right.
This, that, and the other. And it's like, well, he's gonna do it.
And he's gonna use this plane. He's gonna use this plane in place of Air Force One. Wasn't airplanes just crashing and shit and landing upside down and all this kind of shit? So let him have a plane. Go for yours, Trump.
Man, them motherfuckers probably set that motherfucker up or something. When I saw they said something about they have to take take all everything out the motherfucker and check it for bugs and taps and shit. You know what I mean? They think it may be wired. But my thing is like, if I was him, I wouldn't trust it. Don't nobody like him. Why would
You have
somebody
a
give
plane that we pay for as a country. Air Force One is what it's called.
Right.
Why do you need a plane from a Middle Eastern?
I wouldn't trust it if I was him.
Come on, man. Stop.
Get it. Let that Simpson come true or some shit. You better.
You keep talking about wasteful government spending, and then you come and say you want to have a military-style birthday party. I mean, a parade for your birthday. Of course, it got nixed. But I'm just saying, like, this dude is a self-serving white nationalist, right? He's a one percenter. Everything that a couple years ago this country swore they were against, but then everybody just fell back in love with him.
Yeah.
You know, because of what they perceived as, oh, Biden's fucking the country up, because inflation had gone up, because you know, crime in this country continues to be pervasive in most of our communities. It seems like morally we're bankrupt. We're going in this kind of negative. We're trending in the wrong direction. So y'all allow y'all, because I didn't vote for him and I voted. So I can talk my shit, Kamar, because I actually voted. We allow, I'll use we allow him back in office after his first 4 years was fuckery. Y'all don't remember his first 4 years? That was fuckery.
Morally bankrupt.
That's how we ended up with Biden in the first place. Wasn't nobody sold on Byron off top. It was just like, hey, look. Biden. I said Byron. But no, we were like, nah, man, we don't necessarily want him. We just had enough of this motherfucker right here.
And that just shows you how contradictory white folks is, because let them say they're Christians and they believe in the values, and this man been married, 3 times, or got 3 different babies. Nothing about him speaks morals.
Well, the funniest part about his how these staunch Make America Great Again white people love him is that he's never been married to an American woman. They're all immigrants.
Like that'd be like that's the funniest shit ever, because it killed me. I see the white boys up north and they love America, but you driving a fucking Toyota or a Nissan with the American flag hanging back. Get your stupid ass in life.
Oh man. This is Ace Cooley. Shout out to Ace Cooley. He said, honestly, I feel like we didn't try both parties. I'm down to try to vote for the independents. You can, but they got a snowball's chance in hell of winning. So a lot of times you're wasting a vote. That's how we kind of processed it when people were saying they were going to vote for Cornel West, because I didn't think Cornel West had I didn't think he had a chance. I felt like it was just a tremendous weight of vote. Well, it wasn't even really like, he didn't convince me that this is the dark horse I'm gonna go with. You know what I mean? And that's his job. Ace says he's a self-serving white nationalist that wouldn't pick up a gun to protect it. He's the one who fucked the country up initially. Earl Henning said, let him have it and hope for the best. LOL. Yeah, like, because you can't do shit anyways. I'm not getting my trousers in a bunch about this no more. I'm not, because I want to focus on what's right in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's moves and situations and things that I can create for myself that will insulate me from some of the things that are coming down. In terms of his budget, I just wanted to say, like, so the discussion was what parts of his budget, what effect would it have on Milwaukee? So when we start talking about fiddly diddly with federal money, and okay, you say, well, how's this going to look for Milwaukee? I'm just going to list off some of the programs that this is going to directly affect if his budget and his cuts and his plans go through. And after I get done telling you all these different things, y'all tell me who this serves. For all you people say, what has he done to us? Low-income home energy assistance programs, which helps residents cover a portion of their energy bills. Community services block grant program. So I talk about the CDBG money all the time. Community Development Block Grant. That is maybe 20 something $million, which gives funding to anti-poverty programs. It would also cut the funding for Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, which provides resources for mental health, substance use, and community well-being. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, program management that provides support to elderly residents and low-income individuals, as well as families. Housing programs that are receiving funding from state rental assistance, block grants, community development block grants, home investment partnership program, and homeless assistance program consolidations, as well as self-sufficiency programs. Okay. That is that's how this is going to affect where we live at. So for all you people say, well, what is he doing to us? Now, all those programs I just read off, who are they here to assist? Like, let's be honest. Who makes up the majority of the poor people in our city?
Yeah,
people of color.
African Americans.
People of color. So if you say, well, how's it going to affect us? All those different agencies that I just named off, once again, I would ask the average Trump voter, a black Trump voter, hey, do you think us having a community development block grant funding source in our city is helpful? And I like to hear them say, yeah, it's good for the community. And then, yeah, we need that. And then I say, well, your president's cuts could possibly jeopardize this, and we won't receive this funding anymore. Once again, I ask the question of, if you take that money, what you going to do with the money that you saved besides go golfing? What all this money they're supposedly cutting, all the fat they're trimming off this budget, I still ain't heard none of these motherfuckers say what they going to do with it.
It ain't coming back to us.
Well, then where's it going? Maybe somebody need to be asking that question. Hey, we appreciate you shaving the fat off the budget, but now we done discovered where all this wasteful spending was. What you gonna do with the money? Because you cutting programs that could help people instead of cutting this budget down to size and trimming the fat and then putting more resources into those programs which actually help people. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You should be trying to empower these programs, not get rid of them.
When you got hateful ass people, but see, the thing about it is, and you know, like I said, I watch a lot of shit on YouTube. It's white people that saying, hey, I am prepared to lose my job. I am prepared for the hurt, for the betterment of the country. So long as in their mind that, hey, they're hurting because these people are kamikaze people. You understand what I'm saying? As long as it's hurting them, but we're hurting too, but we want to see them because we feel like I'm telling you, man, this black fatigue shit, white people, white men, heterosexual, white Christians feel like the world been trampling on them, everything. That's why Trump resonated to them so much. Now, I don't know why he resonated to the Latinos and the African American, but the white men, you know what I'm saying? They felt like they wasn't getting a fair end of shit, this woke shit, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So these people are prepared to hurt because they feel like it's going to hurt other people, you know, and the other people is us. You understand what I'm saying? That's how entrenched that their hate and disdain for people, for African Americans is. They don't give a fuck. You understand what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck, like plain and simple. And they will tell you, I'm prepared to lose my job. One guy said he lost like $70,000 in the stock market off his 401k. So Trump doing it for the country. You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wow, this shit is crazy. This is dangerous, man. You know what I'm saying? It definitely is. It's not just cut and dry like that. It's deeper than that.
Get you some popcorn and just sit back and enjoy the show, because it ain't nothing you can do about it. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, because I want to switch up on the Trump shit, because honestly, that shit gets me sleepy. I'm watching Puffy Combs' trial. Okay, and it's sad that it really confirms the rumblings coming out of this trial's initial phases. It confirms what we already knew. Puffy is, I don't even know if you can call him a freak or a sexual deviant. He's sick. Like his whole, the shit he's doing that they're saying he did, let me go back a little bit. Say he beats this case, right? And he comes home totally free. He's exonerated, right? I will never purchase a piece of Diddy music, clothing, liquor ever, ever, ever again. Like, you're hearing this is supposed to be the point of no return in our community for black men. You hiring a man to urinate in your girl's mouth. You're hiring escorts to ejaculate onto her, and then you're having her rub their ejaculation on you.
Damn, he was he was nasty.
This is this is beyond freak. This is like mentally corrupt. As them old people say, he got a reprobated mind. This is this is Caligula. This is Greece, right? This is
You fighting demons,
monsters.
Shit.
So, but I said all that to say, I haven't heard anything that he's done criminal yet because he already paid her for, and that's why I'm like, how can she even testify? Because there wasn't any agreements in place because he gave her some 30-something mil. We know he was physically abusive, but that's not necessarily what he's on trial for. I haven't heard any crimes yet.
Well, dig this, right? I think for one, they trying to paint a picture for everybody to run with, right? But then also in these questions, they got questions ducked off in there that's like show where he might have broke the law. Like, because they kept asking her about, like, just talking about the ejaculation stuff. They kept asking, she said, I didn't want to do that. She kept saying that, you know what I mean? So now when you start saying shit like that, you know what I mean? It started incriminating you into the sex talk type shit or you know what I mean? Crimes and shit. You making a motherfucker do something now. And then they asking shit like, did you feel like you were persuaded or you had to do that? You know what I mean? So like they throwing little words, and like I say in court, you got to know what these words mean, and you got to know these words. You know what I'm saying? And that video, what they keep showing of her ain't got nothing to do with the case. And that's why I say I think they paint a picture of him. Right. Just by him, I feel like just by him, them showing them that he beat her up, drug her back to the room, that's kind of like kidnap or making a motherfucker, showing that you will make a motherfucker do something. You'll make a motherfucker stay. I'm making you stay here and do this. Like I don't know if what I'm saying is right, but this is just how I feel. Like they throwing little shit in there in their testimony so they could pull it back out later.
But here's it. I love how you pointed out. Listen to the words, right?
Right.
Because what she said was, I didn't want to inside, but I consented to it because I didn't want him to do it with someone else or leave me. That means you consented to it. Come on. If I tell you, and there's no Diddy, and I ain't gonna even use you because it ain't even cool. It ain't even cool. Let's just say I had a girl, right, and she was rocking with me, and I was on some extreme deviousness, right, and I had a baby, you down? And she says, I really don't want to do this, but I want to be with him so bad that I'm gonna do it. I have no way at that point of saying, I wonder, do she really want to do it? And if I say, you sure you cool with this? And she say, no, baby, I'm good. What else can I do? Well, how? And then there's celebrities who are, and it's funny. I've heard celebrities say, nah, man, I've been to some Diddy joints. She was actually knee deep, right? Not just knee deep. She was totally deep. So now, years later, of course, you got older. You're looking at it, and this is ass whooping aside, because I believe whatever he gets for, that I believe he's not even being prosecuted for that at this point. So you can create this kind of, perception of him, but we already get it. We already knew this. This is what I'm saying. This is a waste of time in court, and it's not even. It's just very fruitless. Like I feel like, okay, now we didn't necessarily.
The testimony is a motherfucker. I don't think it's fruitless.
Okay.
Because they questioned her about a lot of different stuff. You know what I mean? It wasn't just about what she did. Like they was talking about him paying off sex workers and shit.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that in her testimony.
You know what I mean? That's why I say it's a lot of shit within the testimony that I feel like they could go back and extract up out of there and hit that jury with this shit.
Who I know in the past she said that, but in this trial under oath, and once again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not in the courtroom, y'all. That's why I depend on my Outlaw Radio family. If anybody can tell me anything she spoke to this point about what he's actually charged with or his criminal charges, because he made me get in a pool of baby oil ain't necessarily a crime. That's not what he's on trial for.
Nope, that's
so
not.
Now, if you're saying she's spoken to evidence of, she has evidence of him paying people, because that is sex trafficking. If you're saying he pays sex workers across state lines, I get you on that.
Look, now a person on the stand, they don't have to have proof. They could just say, yeah, he was paying. And she did say he paid them off.
I feel like cross-examiner's gonna tear her ass up, Kamar.
We gonna see.
Because now he got $1 million legal team, baby. We ain't talking about, he ain't coming with the public defender now. And so I don't, once again, I'm not in there. I don't know how many objections have been made. They submit paperwork to what's admissible and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Like at first they didn't want the tape shown, but then they said, no, we're going to be able to let these people see it. But who hasn't seen that tape?
Well, they talking about the sex tapes, the freak offs. They gonna let the jurors.
Somebody got sex tapes? That's showing sex tapes?
They gonna show the jurors the sex tapes.
When are they gonna do that?
Soon, I don't know, but they was talking. They said that's what's gonna happen. They said they ain't gonna allow the sex tapes for the public to be seen, but they gonna allow the sex tapes for the jurors to see what was going on.
Is that legal?
Yeah, it's legal. Shit, it's part of a.
You can just show it to the jurors.
They want to see underage people. You know what I mean? They want to see if some of the people who testifying in it. You know what I mean? So, like I say, they looking for the legal shit. Okay. Don't get caught up in the stuff that they talking, because see, they asking questions to her about him breaking laws, and they ain't telling her that this is what they asking. You know what I mean? Like they pull his. If you ever watch, the juror watch how the trials go. You know what I mean? You ever watched it? You know what I mean? It's the reason why they had them long drawn out. You know what I'm saying? Questionings like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they dissecting shit. They finding lies. They finding intricacies. You know what I mean? Little inconsistencies and shit. So you know what I mean? That's why I say I just think it's more. We're gonna see. I just think there's more to it. Now I do feel like the defense is gonna cross-examine a bunch of it and probably fuck a bunch of shit up, but you can't fuck up everything if it's the truth.
I'm interested in what she has said so far, because I know we have a public court and we have a court of opinion, but like I said, I'm not, watching court TV like some people might be. But I've been kind of paying attention to what her testimony was, and so far, everybody has been just going crazy on the fact that some of the shit he did was just so egregiously freaky. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the speculation of it. So let me look. Okay. Yes, Cassie Ventura discussed criminal charges against Sean Diddy Combs, her former boyfriend, during her testimony in his ongoing sex trafficking trial. Specifically, Cassie's testimony alongside other evidence is being used by prosecutors to support the charges against Combs, which include racketeering, conspiracy. This charge alleged that Combs ran a criminal. We know what the charges are. I want to know her testimony. That's what I'm looking for. In her testimony, she directly, here we go, Kamar. Here's the meat for it. Here we go. In her testimony, Cassie, I keep calling her Cassie directly accused Combs of rape. She testified that he raped her on her living room floor in 2018 after a dinner they had. Physical abuse. She described numerous instances of physical violence, including beatings, kickings, and dragging. sexual coercion and abuse. She detailed how Combs allegedly forced her to participate in freak-offs, even when she was uncomfortable or sick, and described the emotional and physical toll they took. And blackmail. Cassie testified that Combs threatened to release videos of the freak-offs to blackmail her and keep her silent about his behavior. Okay. I'm trying to understand the correlation. What is he on trial for? Sex trafficking, right? That's one of them, right? There's no mention in here that she's discussed sex trafficking. She said rape. He raped me. What? She said rape, right? She said he raped her.
Do they have
right?
a transcript? Is that the transcripts you reading?
This is the
Where
breakdown.
they ask the questions and she get the answers. Because that's what I was on earlier.
That's what this is. That's what this is. Because it's talking about the contents of her testimony. So hold on. Let me just, because I'm going based off this. And I'm not, once again. She said rape, right? And I believe he did it, Kamar. Because I don't believe she would. But that's not what he's on trial for, is it? Is he on trial for? Is that running? I don't know all his charges. I guess that's where I need some clarity at. Is he on trial for blackmail? Is he on trial for physical abuse?
Blackmail could be the coercion.
Okay, but so what I'm saying is, has anything she offered so far any kind of supporting evidence versus the sensationalism? Because American, we love a good story, right?
So, she was naming motherfuckers. She's naming motherfuckers and shit, naming people. Like that's what I said. Are those the transcripts? The transcripts show the question and it show her answer. Question to answer, just like a scripted play.
This is not the official court transcript. This is a breakdown of the questions asked. I'm looking at CNN right now. Okay, hold on.
A lot of those people that was going live, they was reporting the transcripts, the questions and the answers as they was coming across.
What happened after her 2016 assault? Okay, she talked about that. She said, I can't carry this no more. I don't want to, because we already seen that. Threats. Okay, so here's what the prosecutors are accusing him of. They said Combs and his inner circle used threats, violence, drugs, bribery, arson, kidnapping, and lies to coerce Ventura and another woman in participating in drug-fueled sex parties known as freak-offs, and to protect the music mogul's reputation. Okay. Hold on, there's a little bit more here. She talked about the assault, right? Said the defense acknowledged Combs has been violent with former girlfriends. This is his lawyers. They say, and that he has a different sex life. His sex life is different. But they said the women consented to these sexual arrangements and noted he was charged with racketeering and sex trafficking, not domestic violence. That's what I was kind of fishing for, Kamar, to say. A lot of what she said can be a contributing factor, but is it a direct boom? Like I said, sex trafficking, I didn't hear her talking about that. Assault,
that's what they do during this time. They looking for contributing factors. They, like I said, they paint the image of them. They trying to see what type of man is this. You know what I'm saying?
Character witnesses, yes.
Exactly. Okay. You know what I mean? So right now, that's what where they at right now.
Say I'm on trial for murder, right? This is a question because I ain't never been on trial, bro. Say I was on trial for murder, right? And I know this probably happens. I was fighting this murder case, but someone came into the court to testify against me, and they didn't say they saw me commit the murder. They didn't see me commit the crime, but they say I seen him beat up several people, and that's assault and battery. But I'm not on trial for assault and battery. I'm on trial for murder. So thank you for your testimony.
It'd be different if you was on trial for assault and battery.
Right.
Because now it really looked like you were an assault, a battery and assault, or however you would want to put it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like again, you know, the way they questioning her, you know what I'm saying? They paint that picture of them. And I think they feel like they doing it without her knowing it.
So she's testifying, and she was with him for a long time, Kamar.
Yeah, she thought, hey, look, they talking about her throwing names out there and everything.
But I'm looking at it.
bodyguards and shit.
I'm looking at her because a lot of us have
Right.
rushed. And
But you know,
believe me,
they also
I'm not defending this
look,
monster.
the witness, they digging information out the witness in front of the jury. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the information. She ain't I don't think the focus is even really on. They ain't even talking about what he's being charged for. They throw that out there every so often, but it's just more about the questions. You know how when you get interrogated by the police when you go to the district, they ask you all type of dumb shit that don't got nothing to do with shit. You know what I mean? They softening you up, they buttering you up. You know what I'm saying? So they got her talking about a bunch of shit. But like I say, it's questions in there that in the way you answer them motherfuckers, you know what I mean, it's fucked up. That's like when I remember, you know, one of them drug raids I was caught up in, right? When they doing an interrogation, the dope they found in the house, the guns they found in the house, none of us knew nothing about them. Nobody says shit like no incriminating shit. And that's what they looking for. Like, well, I knew they was there, but they ain't mine. You know what I'm saying? Like they question you to get you to say little dumb shit or say shit that's incriminating, say shit that they want you to say. You dig what I'm saying? And I feel like they pulling some of that out there. You gonna get mixed up in a whole bunch of, you know, I mean, you gonna get mixed up in that shit. But they getting answers up out of that motherfucker.
So
out of it.
She has, first of all, let's say that was direct testimony. Her cross-examination will start tomorrow, right?
Yeah, let's see that.
On the table is she has a book deal, Kamar. And they also talk about she accepted a $20 million payout as a result of her when she exposed him, right? She says, I can't carry the shame, the guilt. She said nothing that she took part in she says noting that she took part in hiring escorts for the same freak off parties where she says she was abused. I was guided to treat people like they were disposable. I keep, Kamar, in my mind, I keep saying to myself, you're complicit. You consented to this. It is.
Well, then, how come the pimps get locked up then?
Most of the time, don't a pimp get locked up for having an underage prostitute?
Well, I don't know what they're getting locked up for, but they be getting locked up for having hoes.
They do, but I thought,
and they consent.
Once again, I'm no legal expert on what pimps get. I don't know what pimps get. I don't know.
That's why I say they got that coercion in there. The coercion is you're gonna do this or I'm gonna do this.
So is it illegal?
They did that.
Is it illegal for a pimp, for a woman to say, "Hey, baby, I want to give you. I'm gonna go out here and hoe, and I'm gonna give you the money. That's yours." Is that illegal?
No, but it's illegal to make her keep doing it.
Okay. What if she continues to do it?
Now listen. They got the coercion part because she even said she was worried that something would happen if she didn't.
Yeah, she didn't want him to break up with her. She wanted her record to be promoted.
Yep. That's enough.
Fair exchange ain't no robbery though.
In our mind, in your mind,
it didn't.
But in the eye of the law, Kev.
I get that. That's why I said I'm no legal expert.
Right, but in the eye of the law,
I just feel like she had, what do you call it? What do they call it, Kamar? When you got an interest in doing something to somebody for your own personal gain. What do they call that shit? She had I'm having a brain fart, y'all. She had her own agenda against him to say, because you already got 20 mil and you finna write a book that's finna be a bestseller.
Hey, now that 20 mil ain't got nothing to do with this case either. Remember they told Diddy to give them the 20 mil, file a lawsuit on them. They filed the lawsuit because Diddy and them thought they was playing, remember? And then they filed the lawsuit and Diddy and them gave them that money. But that was just so she don't sue him. That ain't got nothing to do with the case that they calling her up to the stand for, because she's still a witness.
I can't think of when somebody, okay, so This is all I'm saying. First of all, y'all, I'm no attorney, and I ain't, like I said, I ain't been on trial. I ain't been in the state of Wisconsin versus Kevin Barnes, so I'm not. Don't sit up here and act like I know everything about the legality, the legal processes in court. But once again, I'm going to say she has a vested interest in him getting prosecuted monetarily. There is a gain for her. And I just feel like great defense lawyers, from what I understand about them, will expose her and discredit her. And a jury's mind can be kind of twisted, Kamar, to say, hey, wait a minute, he just made a good point. She trying to sell a book. She already got paid. Some of them are going to bleed with her. I get it. That's probably, I shouldn't say bleed, but I get it. I'm just saying, I'm pondering this whole case. I'm looking at the law.
That's why they showed that video.
Yeah, but okay.
It's more than just the book. You know what I mean? Like, this the overlay for the underplay part.
Let me go to the chat room because there's a lot of people in there, Kamar. A says they own him for all these murders for everybody that's been around him, from Andre Harrell to Kim Porter to Heavy D. I haven't heard.
Hey, she implicated him on that with the Kim Porter shit.
But he's not accused. Has he been officially charged with murder?
Well, like I said, they painted a picture.
Okay. So at this point, it's speculation. Okay. Mm-hmm. I thought Andre Harrell died of natural causes.
I don't know.
And Heavy D as well. I thought it was health issues. Once again, I'm trying to figure this out, y'all. Y'all help me. Earl Henning said he's fucked up in the head. He's like Kamar said, it's some demons, man. This brother got some issues that we ain't know about. Take that. DeVille Willis said, where's the old man from New Jack City when you need him? Your soul is required in hell, Puffy Combs. What he said, dollar that you were burning hell. Ace Cooley said, let's not forget he tried to kill Al B. Sure and has already come out about the shit he's talking to the authorities, and he's already come out. Now, Al B. Sure, was that real? I didn't want to put it up in the People's News Network because is he coming out saying Puffy tried to have him off? Okay.
Yeah, he was just on one of the morning shows talking about that shit.
Kamar, you know what, man? I don't be wanting to be a victim of what do they call it? Clickbait. I done been zapped by the clickbait sometimes, like so many times. Sometimes I'll just see some shit and I'll keep going past it because I'm like, I got to see that from 3 other places, man. I'm not even gonna waste my time reading it. Ernest said pandering is a crime, meaning if they prove the pimp made you do it, a pimp caught up. But that law is garbage. So if we go back to that, I guess the reason I asked that question, right? Because at any given time, say you meet a woman, she got some money and you don't, and you get involved in a relationship with her or a situationship with her, and she gives you a bunch of gifts over the years. No, I don't know how. I'm not going to speak on how she was getting the money to do it, but she gave you these gifts, right, Kamar? And then y'all broke up, and she felt so bad years later that she's able to come back and say, no, he made me do this, that, and the third so I can have money to give him. She could be lying. She could be just bitter. Like, that's why I asked, is it illegal for a woman to say, here, baby, here this money? Until he says, get your ass out there and do it when you don't feel like doing it, he hasn't committed a crime yet, correct?
If she's doing it for you, it's a crime.
Whether she wants to on her own, but she just giving me the money.
Or not.
Okay. You even get to understand pimping on this show. This is Outlaw Radio, man. Y'all can't tell me shit, man. For all you want to be pimps, understand how the law works before you start your business up. Ace Cooley says, remember
your ass. No Diddy.
He said, remember Keefe D has implicated him in the killing of Tupac as well. Yeah, Puffy, man, like, look, but okay, so even with all of that said, and I get the character testimony to say, hey, let's paint the picture of this individual as a monster. So that way, when we start talking about the actual crimes, y'all will be willing to believe it, to say, hey, he was already a degenerate. We know he did that shit too. Okay. But I just, even with what I just read and what I just heard and what I just looked at and And I've been looking for this all day because I'm like, okay, he let them pee. Somebody peed on her. She rubbed some skeet on him. Is that illegal though? That's not. So, Kamar, what I wanted to know was, has anybody spoken yet to the specific things he's charged with? Because if
But
not,
see, Kev, like I said, they talking. Hey, again, like I remember, they paint the picture. Keep your mind on that. They paint the picture, right? Now, when they talking about the skeet and shit, they talking about him making people do shit that they don't want to do.
Please don't say
they paint the picture of it. You know what I mean?
Don't say
keep your mind on that.
I won't. I don't want to keep my mind on skeet.
No, not on the skeet. Not on the skeet. I'm talking about painting the picture of them.
That's even worse to say skeet and then say paint the picture, man. Come on, man. You gotta stop. What are you doing, puppy? I'm painting a picture. I know. I'm being petty with something that I shouldn't be petty about. My bad, y'all. I want to talk about the Tory Lanez thing too, since we just kind of trying to give ourselves a reprieve from Trump, because Lord knows you spend your whole day. Trump is living rent-free in everybody's head right now, I guarantee you. Tory Lanez. First of all, Tory Lanez stabbed 14 times in prison. The evidence, the news comes out today that her friend who was there that night has a driver/security guard who's testifying that he saw her with the gun shooting. Okay. Tory, now I did read the transcripts from this trial. I have seen the transcripts in which Tory Lanez's DNA was not found on the gun. I believe there was no gunpowder on his hands. He was the only one whose DNA was tested. The young lady who was the friend, who allegedly this whole thing was about him sleeping with both of them, she wasn't tested. Megan Thee Stallion wasn't tested. The driver wasn't tested. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. The fact that he was stabbed 14 times by an inmate who's a lifer, and he has no connection to this individual. People are saying this is a paid hit, because if he really is able to prove the fact that he was jailed unjustifiably, LA got money. They're going to have to pay. This could be, you never had to sing another song again, right? If you add Megan to it, because I'm suing you too, right? This boy could walk away with a whole lot of bread. Prayers up to him, hoping he survives this attack. But this news to me is crazy, because there are a lot of individuals who've been saying for a long time, and he himself has been saying, I didn't do this. People say, well, why did he make this mysterious phone call to her apologizing? I think that one thing is, I think he was way too drunk, and I don't think he can actually remember what actually happened. Kamar, like, you might be really drunk somewhere and some stuff happened that you don't remember, but you remember what you didn't do, right? Like if somebody say, Kamar, you was drunk in the motherfucker last night, you shot the bar up. You'd be like, now I don't remember the whole thing, but I know damn well I ain't shot no bar up. But you can't say for sure, You're like, man, I don't remember that. So I don't think he really remembers this night. I think this is a case of way too much liquor and heaven knows what else, right? And a firearm, which should not be there. But I want to talk about her credibility, because once again, I believe she was so drunk she don't know either. But say it comes out that the other young lady, by the way, this driver/security guard says he chose to keep this a secret all this time because he wanted to protect, I think her name's Kelsey. And he's saying, but my guilt and my conscience, especially in light of this brother just getting stabbed, I can't hold his secret no more. I have to come out now and say it. So they're saying he needs to be released from prison immediately for this crime that he was charged with and convicted of. Have you been following this at all, or what you even think about? Because this is crazy.
A little bit. I've been following it a little bit, man. Like as far as him getting stabbed or whatever, you know what I mean? I heard about him getting hit up in the yard. I wonder what it was. I done read somewhere where they said it was about him putting a hit out on some Mexican mafia or something. It may have something to do with that. But I mean, I was wondering if it may have something to do. Maybe Megan Thee Stallion them got some people down there. You know what I mean? Some connections. I ain't saying she do, but she may got some boys down there that got some connections to him.
So allegedly, his lawyers had just requested this evidence to be submitted to the court, and then he gets stabbed right after. I'm being a conspiracy theorist a little bit here, right? I'm jumping off the deep end of the pool because I don't know.
Right.
But something with this whole thing from the start with me didn't sit right. Because, you know, she was seen, I'm not going to say she wasn't hurt, but then she had on like heels twerking like a couple days later. And I'm like, where? It's like Trump's ear and shit. Like, and Trump said, well, the doctors tell me I had the most incredible ears you ever seen. They never seen nobody's ear heal up this fast. But I said, wait a minute. When I heard this, when I seen this whole thing, I said, wait a minute, something ain't right about this. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about her credibility. Like, if this comes out, this could damage her career. This could bring the house down, right? Like, do you think he did it? You think he shot her?
My screen freezing up, but I don't know, man. I know I wouldn't be going down for nobody that done shot a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I just think weird. If you didn't do it, why are you going down for
it? Okay, so I think the question comes down to it, like everybody says, did he do it? Like I've had my doubts. There's been some stuff I'm like, yeah, you know, you was drunk, you was tripping, you 5'2", she's 6'1", she got to maybe handling you a little bit rough, was throwing you around, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, this big bitch finna kill me. But from what they're saying, the girl fired 3 shots, he slapped her hand down, and the gun went off 3 more times. So he never even actually touched the pistol. This is what the bodyguard is saying. Hold on. He said, this is Ace. He said, Tory Lanez was railroaded. It was said Jay-Z had a part to play in that false conviction. Whoa, we going. That's where it's at. Come on, get the aluminum, get the tinfoil hats out. It's coming out. Jay-Z is responsible now. See, we started talking about Puffy, and then all of a sudden somebody said, you heard what Keefy D said? Man, but I love black people. We be talking. Keefy D said he killed Tupac. Let's see. He said, shit, Megan Thee Stallion slipped up on the interview and admitted she lied. I know she lied to Gail when Gail was like, were you sleeping with him? And Megan was like, no. And we was like, Megan, come on. Like, so the onus is like, what else she done lied about? First of all, if it turns out this other young lady shot her, I'm not mad at Megan for saying somebody got to pay because I ended up with some bullet fragments in my foot, right? And if she really can't remember Kamar because they were so zooted and duded, I wouldn't say she's, you know, like, fuck her, she's bad. She made a mistake. But it's going to cost her really, really heavily if that's the case. Orlando Owens in the chat room. Family. He said, what up, Orlando? I don't know, Kamar. I'm going to put, at this point, I'm going to say I don't think he did it. We're going to see what comes out. I think he's about to get out of prison. And I think Megan going to have a whole lot of challenges in her career moving forward. I really do. And especially if this comes out, man, this man got 10 years. He's been in jail for what, a year or 2? And then he gets stabbed in prison? And if it comes out he didn't even do it? Like right now, it's apparent that his life ain't safe. Now, what your theory was about him putting the hit out on some Mexican dudes, I hadn't heard that one. That was fresh to me. I got to jump on YouTube when we get off the show because he's Canadian. Fuck, he doing rapping with some Mexicans. Just,
Hey,
what kind
that's
of
hey,
part
that's
of this?
what I see. I was tripping off what I don't actually believe. You know what I'm saying? But you never know.
I remember a long time ago, Whack 100 kept saying he had some video that would exonerate Tory Lanez, and everybody who's involved in this case knows this footage exists. And for some reason, everybody kept saying, Whack, you got to be lying, because why has this video not been shown? Like, why has it not been submitted? And he'd been saying for a long time, nope, it's gonna come out. That's why the video ain't been released. Once the truth comes out, then y'all will start seeing the video. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China, but it's very interesting, right? Like, if you ain't got shit else to do, right? Like, this is a movie, a Tubi movie waiting to happen, man. Come on. Didn't they already make one? I thought there was already a movie about it. Like, where's some kind of knockoff movie about it already? Let me see what else I got here. Before we go, we were talking about of course, the cops in down south who killed Tyree Nichols were exonerated. Are we still surprised when cops don't get convicted of killing someone? Are we still surprised at that? Okay. As long as there's an existence of what they call qualified immunity. Now, once again, Kamara, I have never been on trial. I ain't been charged with nothing, but I do believe immunity means you won't be getting prosecuted, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Police officers have qualified immunity across the board. These were brothers too. I don't know if you want to call them brothers. They murdered this young man. But people are always so upset about it, and it just becomes it's just vitriol about it. Like, oh man, I'm sick of this. I want to burn some shit down. And you see what the brother Hinton did in PA. Fuck it. You take one of mine, I take one of yours, right? But are we surprised that when this happens? Once again, as long as qualified immunity exists, you will have a very hard time, convicting any police officer or law enforcement officer of murder. Even though in a lot of cases you can look at it and say, dude, this is straight up murder. What's the discussion? There's nothing to discuss here. That's why that law enforcement reform thing was so important to us as people who were lied to by Biden. Yes, I can call Biden out. I can call the Democrats out on that. I have no problem with that for all the people who say, oh, no, they just love the Democrats. What the brother Paris tell us? He said, y'all just stay caping for the Democrats. That's what he told us, right? He told us to get off the plantation. He stopped fucking with Outlaw Radio too, y'all. He really stopped. Y'all, well, I don't know. We pissed him off that night, Kamar. What did I do? Hey, I think I hung up on him. He was like, fuck y'all. I ain't dealing with y'all no more. But it's all good. What else? I was going to talk about Trump's self-deportation order that he's coming up with, where he's telling immigrants, hey man, just come on and report yourself and we'll help you get out of here and give you $1,000. This self-deportation. Come on. This dude.
$1,000.
This dude is crazy, man. He is crazy. He walking Dion say he's dangerous. I say he's crazy, man. It's just crazy. He comes up with anything he thinks of when he wake up in the morning. Like, I'm gonna do an executive order for that shit. Like, I'm tired of this. And put executive order in. No more wire hangers in my closet. Like, it's just like next thing you know, it's on the books. Like, come on, man. Then I did see the clip of Piers Morgan, who had a panel on, and there was an intense racial discussion, and white people have an obsession with being able to say nigger. I don't know what is it. I don't know what the allure of it is. I don't know why it's such a fantasy for them to be able to say it. Even if they hear us say it, they're like, I want to say it so bad. I never understood the appeal of it. I really haven't. I'm like, why is this such a hard on for you? But there's a white lady on there speaking, and she's talking about the N-word, and Piers Morgan says, well, we got two black people on the show. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead. No, just say it. Just say it. And this Mark Lamont Hill, oh, he goes crazy. He goes just absolutely bananas. It's in the People's News Network, y'all. And he's like, well, I'm not finna sit here and allow her to say that when I'm the only nigga on the show. Right. And so I was like, I get where he's going. He didn't want to be, because there was another black dude on there, but I guess this dude was pretty conservative and, you know, a Republican Orlando Owens type. And he called him a Uncle Tom and basically said, you ain't gonna bring me on no platform with all white people and an Uncle Tom and then allow her to say nigger to me. He's upset about it. And I said, well, it's kind of bogus considering the setting. Like, if you want to bring me on your panel and it's a bunch of white dudes and all of a sudden you bust out like, hey, just say it. If you want to say nigga, go ahead. Call him a nigga. Call Kevin a nigga. Like, I'm like, whoa, this some bullshit, right? And like we said, we don't really jump out the gym because a white person uses the word nigger like that anymore. But come on, man. First of all, white people, y'all got to deal with this unnatural obsession and desire to say this word. Why is it that they're so preoccupied with, can I say it? Should I say it? The N-word. Can I say it? Can I say it? No. But you guys say it all the time. So you can't say it. You can't say it. That's the point. Let me go to the chat room before I take what looks like it's probably about to be the last call. I'm off tonight, y'all. Earl Henning said, what about the 37-hour standoff? The white man had the police in. What state was that? He said, huh? He said, where was this? T? I don't know. He's asking somebody. I don't know. Who's T? Orlando said, really, Kevin? Orlando, what you talking about, man? What you talking about, really, Kevin?
The Orlando types? What does that mean?
Come on, man. You don't know who you are. You know, when you come on this show and you pop off your conservative Republican values, most of the black dudes on the show are going to say, hey, man, Orlando's a sellout. Orlando's a coon. They're going to say that. So I used you as a metaphor. That, like,
okay.
You saying you don't produce that reaction from other black people? That's what you're telling me?
Well, I don't really care what other cats who are low IQ got to say about nothing, honestly.
Okay, so then why you calling me on it like I'm saying something inaccurate?
For you to say, well, he had a conservative on, who was allowing the N-word around like Orlando type. Like, wait a minute. You think
Orlando, that's not what I said. What I said was, it wasn't on that other black man to allow this white lady to say the N-word. It was Piers Morgan who was he's the host of the show. He was telling her to say it. And Mark Lamont Hill was like, I don't want to sit here and let her say that when I'm the only nigga on the show, because this dude is Uncle Tom. So you certainly ain't talking to him. He ain't no real black man. So it wasn't about
So Orlando types, again, that's what you just said. Orlando types ain't real niggas. What does that mean, Kat? I mean, you laugh because you hear your own thought. Okay, yeah.
Come on, man. You hear this dude, man? Okay, look, okay. So I did say that, right? But that's how you gonna come at me when people say way worse shit about you all the time. I never say, hell yeah, he's a sellout, he's a coon. I was just making a reference to you represent on the show the conservative Republican Trump-loving black person. That's why I said Orlando Owens type. I mean, you're being immortalized.
How does conservative mean you less than black is what I'm saying. So
you're being Orlando, you're being indemnified, you're being immortalized. You are now a noun. You're the Orlando Owens type. You're an adjective. You're part of the English language now. I just immortalized you.
So I should be happy you saying this stuff, right? This is something I should be like, yeah, okay, then, Gab, that's great.
Well, don't you want to represent your party? Don't you represent
what I represent is free thinking people of believers, no matter what color I am or what I believe politically. That's why I represent free thinking black man. So when other cats who want to talk slick, I question their IQ levels anyway. So it's whatever, because I expect that from them. But from you, who has
Oh
a
my
higher
God, man. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's do this. Let me give myself one of these, Orlando.
And I'm still waiting for the invite. You know, he's like, "Oh, Orlando, we're gonna get you on the show." I still hadn't got the invite yet.
I know, because last Monday we had James Causey, so you know, that was a dope show. And shout out to all y'all who supported that show. It done some great numbers, but we can keep pushing it. It was a great conversation. I thought the brother was very informed, you know, very articulate. It was a great show, but it's done some great things. And then this Monday we didn't have a show because I had a family commitment, and so I can still get you in, man. Like, it ain't never too late. Like, Dom, man, I feel like you coming for me tonight. You called me first to press me on something I said, then you like, and I still never got the invite, cuz. Like, it's like, damn, Orlando is punking Kev tonight. Come on, man. Let's not do that. Let's not do that, man.
What I will say is this. You know, we can disagree, and without the, and I'm not saying you directly, but I mean other black men who want to say, well, you know, Orlando's a coon. I mean, that's so low IQ. It's so bottom. That ain't even really like what you saying though. Really, you saying you really can't get on my level. What you saying, and that's your problem. You know, not you, but cats who want to say silly stuff like, well, he's less than black. Well, what makes you so black? Because you an idiot? That makes you black? Yeah, I'm you know, the whole black fatigue. You know, so that makes you black?
I heard Dion reference that earlier. What is black fatigue?
I don't know. It's just something that people were saying. You know, what I would say, we all are tired of stupid behavior, no matter what color it comes in. We all should be tired of stupid behavior. People showing their natural behinds. We should all be tired of it, no matter what shade your behind is. We should all be tired of stupid behavior and people trying to justify stupid behavior. Bottom line, point blank. No matter what race, what sex, what gender.
Some people will say that's how people act about Trump. Some people will say that's how people act about Trump. You know what I mean? Justifying stupid behavior. I think it's all subjective and of the person. You know what I'm saying?
So check this out.
I was saying it about Biden too. Like, we should all be saying it about Biden. Like, he's an idiot, and you know, and the rest of the monkey mucks from Al Sharpton.
Look. See, that's the shit right there. You know what I mean?
Right,
the motherfucker talking about. That's just what I said. You just proved.
I'm just saying.
You just proved what I said.
He slid his right in there.
Be clear. You know, stupid behavior is all over, right?
Well, hold on. Let me read this, because this is the definition of black fatigue. I've heard that and I wasn't up on it, so I love to create clarity and transparency for my listeners. Black fatigue refers to the emotional, physical, and psychological exhaustion experienced by black individuals due to the ongoing effects of systemic racism, discrimination, and other forms of oppression. It's a concept that highlights the cumulative toll of living in a world where racial biases and inequities are pervasive, leading to chronic stress and a sense of being constantly on guard. Here's a more detailed look at what black fatigue entails. Chronic stress, constant exposure to microaggressions, macroaggressions, and discriminatory experiences takes a heavy toll on the mental and physical well-being. Physical exhaustion, the psychological and I can't fucking read tonight. Physiological response to stress, including elevated blood pressure and a pounding heartbeat, can contribute to physical fatigue. Emotional exhaustion, the need to constantly navigate and manage racial biases and stereotypes, can lead to an emotional fatigue and a sense of being overwhelmed. Psychological exhaustion, black individuals may experience anxiety, depression, and mental health challenges as a result of the ongoing stress and trauma associated with a living racist society. Intergenerational trauma. The effects of black fatigue can be passed down through generations, impacting mental and physical health of future generations. A sense of powerlessness. The constant struggle against systemic inequities and inequalities can lead to a feeling of powerlessness and a lack of control over one's own life. The causes of black fatigue are systemic racism, microaggressions, lack of representation and affirmation, media representation, And it says the way you address it is through self-care, seeking support, advocating for change, learning more about Black fatigue to better understand it. Okay, so
Yeah, sound like a bunch of beta stuff to me, a bunch of weak
it
stuff.
sounds true to
I'm
me. It sounds true to me. It sounds accurate to me.
it sounds like a bunch of weak stuff to me. I can't get it. It sounds like a bunch of old whining and you do you want some tissue with that? What you want with that?
Wait,
You want
hold
some
on,
cheese with that
Orlando.
wine?
So by your logic, you're never overwhelmed and tired of some of the shit that we got to deal with in this country as Black people. You've never gotten to the point where you say, man, I'm so tired of this shit happening. I'm mentally exhausted. You go to whatever your job, whatever you do for a living, if you get pulled over by the police unjustifiably, because it happens, a lot of us are innocent. We get accosted by police. You're never just so overwhelmed when you say, man, I need to just kick back and take a deep breath, man. This shit is wearing me out. You saying that's never happened to you?
So what I'm tired of is the sinful nature of man in
yes
general.
Or no?
No matter.
Yes.
No.
That's never happened to you.
No.
Kamar, did that sound accurate to you?
I'm not over the top with white people
Okay.
being, you
said no. You said no.
Black
you
people.
said no. Let me
upset.
give Kamar a
with
chance to answer the question. Kamar, did you think that was accurate? I don't know if you even heard it all, but
I think it was accurate. Shit, I feel fed up a lot. You know what I mean? I go like we was just talking about downtown, how they play you down there. You go down there to take care of shit. They send you through all these fucking got me jumping through these hoops and shit to get licensing and shit, child support, all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get mentally exhausted, and motherfucker, that's not no soft shit.
Well,
hold
on.
I'm speaking. Listen, Kevin. Let me finish. I'm towards Orlando saying it sound like a bunch of soft shit, weak shit.
I totally got that.
You know what I mean? Ain't nothing soft about that. That's the fucking problem right there. You know what I mean? In our community, black men can't.
Hold on, Orlando.
Black men can't express how they feel. You know what I mean? If I feel mentally exhausted, why the fuck do that got to be soft or weak?
Okay. So my responsibility is Kamar, is this: we all feel that way. It ain't because you Black.
You said no.
You
said no.
So
you said no.
I'm saying no from the simple fact it don't matter what color you are being fatigued.
Well, see, then you ain't answering the question. Then you ain't answering the question.
So there's no.
You're not answering the question. Then
there's no such thing as specific situations that we, as Black Americans, have to deal with.
So
there's no situation.
Yes or no? Stop fucking bug down.
So for me, no. Hold on, Kamar. Hold on. Come on, man. Come on, Kamar. We better than this now. Hold on.
Well, we are. So stop it.
Let's
question. As a Black man, do you feel exhausted? You said no because you're trying to dodge it.
We can't talk over each other.
You said no because you're trying to dodge some shit.
Well, stop with the sweet shit though. All I'm saying is you want a towel to rub your head on and a pillow. What you want? If you make fucked up decisions, fucked up shit happen to you. I mean, what you want? I don't understand that.
Let me go to the chat room, man. Let me go. Give me a second, y'all.
Good. I said what I said anyway.
Right, no, it's all good. It's all good. Look. Earl Henny. I'm sorry, y'all. He says, White Constant this past week. Ernest Walker said Orlando sounds like just like the dumb white man want to bring up IQ and shit. Bet his ass ain't in Mensa. He said Earl Henny said they call it high blood pressure. Ace Cooley said, LOL, cuz done called him a motherfucker. He done hit a nerve. Earl Henny said he's only the color of a black man. Oh, he's saying Orlando's only the color. Now hold on, Orlando. So hear me out.
You even answer the question.
Hear me out, because
I don't know what he is.
There's some biological. Hold on. There's direct biological correlations, and this is based on years of research and real study that say the stress that has been placed upon us from living in a racist, discriminatory society has had physical effects. Case in point, diabetes. If you understand diabetes, you understand that is the collapse of the pancreas, right? Because when you have fight or flight, your body will secrete adrenaline to maximize all of your senses, right? Most black people come up in environments, not all, but most of them come up in environments where that fight or flight mechanism is firing off from day one, which exhausts your pancreas ability to still secrete hormones and effectively burn sugar. So you get diabetes. It's a physical breakdown as a result of the stress and the pressure you've been under. Now, this is, hold on, we got a lot more people in the chat room. Y'all want to make sure we get everybody before we go. He said, this is Ernest Walker. He said, Orlando is a black peckerwood. Jason Fadilli, what up, cuz? He said he's not speaking from a black man's point of view. Dion says, dude, trash. I bet he doesn't think we were slaves or that black people have been oppressed.
This is nutty. This is nutty. This is nutty. This is nutty. It's nutty. It's just nutty.
Well, he asked you a black man question and you didn't answer it. You couldn't answer it.
Huh?
He asked you a black man question.
You may not agree with it.
That's why they said
you may not agree with it, Kamara. Well, I'm just saying you may not agree with it.
Why he said it.
And you don't understand why I said Orlando Owens type dude.
Right. You know, that's that cognitive. Hey, that's that cognitive dissonance.
It sounds like to me is this, man. Honestly, it sounds like a bunch of boo-hooing and whining. Like, okay, we're gonna sit here and just kind of, commiserate on how bad it is. What we gonna do again? I'm not saying that we don't have the challenges or anybody doesn't have challenges, but all this, I'm black fatigue now. This is the new term now. What was it a couple years ago? It was black, white fragility. It's always something stupid. Something so like, what are we gonna do? Where the men gonna step up? So you know what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do? No matter what race, whatever the come may be. Where all this weak name calling in the chat?
Orlando, you just said that there's no specific situations that black people face in this country that have a direct effect on our physical nature. You just said that. You basically said racism, the racism, and the all of this kind of discrimination in this country for hundreds of years has no effect on us physically. That's what you just basically said.
So right now, if you don't want to take care of your health and your mental health, we're not in the slave trade anymore. That you don't have to eat hog maws and fat back if you don't choose to.
Woo.
You can you can say, well, I'm gonna eat. I got to get you a
banjo, brother.
I'm gonna go to Kamara and get some vegan food. I'm going to do things that I don't have to eat.
Even if you can be a vegan all you want, you're still going to be a victim of systematic racism. That doesn't alleviate you from the effects of systematic racism. Your diet does not remove the effects that your environment will ultimately have on you.
So first, from a dietary standpoint, you can't
racism.
Say that again, bro.
I said you're talking to somebody who don't even believe in systematic racism. So how can we be stressed out from it?
I agree. I don't think he believes in it.
Well, I don't believe in systematic racism. What I believe in is an equal man.
That's what I just said.
No matter what you are.
That's what I just said.
I believe in evil, period. I believe that, you have people who are definitely diabolical, no matter what race you are. Evil, and I guess this is where we have this divide on, where my faith is. My faith is that it's all man, created.
Yeah, but you're glossing over the fact that a lot of this is executed on us specifically because the color of our skin. You're glossing over that fact, trying to explain the nature of man without admitting that there's racial connotations and racist, discriminatory, bigot undertones attached to how we are treated in this country. You are totally dismissing. Hold on.
I'm not.
You are. You just said there's nothing specific to us that should cause us.
Don't believe it.
Come on, man. You know what, Orlando? I'm about to get off the air. You got me tired. I got black fatigue from dealing with your ass tonight. I'm for real. I'm tired now. God damn. Let me get off this show. Listen, y'all. First of all, I'm gonna read the rest of the chat room. I'm going home. I got it tonight. I've got black fatigue, Kamar. Because I was about to say, when I look on the news and I see a triple shooting and it was one of us who killed 3 others, I'm tired of that. That affects me mentally. I say, man, look at my people. We're rotting away. I'm affected by it. And when those messages are being, one of the principles of it was media representation. You didn't pay attention. But see, Orlando, you mastered the science of trying to answer one way and then gaining an opportunity to come back and explain yourself so that people will say, oh, he's like you said, a free thinker. No, in this situation, you're not a free thinker. You're just wrong. So let me read my let me read my chat room because they got something to say. Dion said, dude, trash. I bet he oh no, I already read that when he said he's a reject from the Democratic Party. Now he hates the party. I hope Trump cut his Medicare off. Ewok says we can do shit and recognize bullshit at the same time. We ain't finna let you help them sweep shit under the rug. Old black ass sellout ass nigga. Old black sellout ass nigga.
These dudes are
Jason said stop trying to. He said stop trying to justify that bullshit. Ewok says, I'm sorry, Ace Cooley. He said I'm a conservative man. This dude is irrational. He said he's conservative, but you irrational.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know what it means.
Said he's not one of us. That's the chat room. I'm gonna give you wrap this up, man, because I'm about to get out of here, Orlando. Wrap it up. I want to be fair to you.
So we should do this on another show. Let's have a deeper dive into this again. But I'm just not for, again, no one is underplaying or denying that Black people in this country, like in other countries, others have been also victimized, of oppressed, or whatever the case may be. But what I will say is this. See, my faith is in Christ. And that means a lot of cats in this chat room don't believe like I do, which is fine for me. They don't believe in the risen Savior. So I get that. A lot of these cats going to hell. I get it, whatever. So, but at the same time, what I will say is this:
going to hell.
Yeah, they're going to hell anyway. They don't believe
because they believe in black fatigue. Oh my, okay, go wrap it up.
As I wrap with this, if you continue to let things and every other thing you want to call black fatigue, because this is a new term, to hold you back and lack accountability for your actions and how we can change things in our community. And first, with yourself and with your own home.
Who said believing in black fatigue alleviates us from being accountable for our own behavior? That wasn't even a part of the discussion. Nobody even said that. That wasn't even a point of contention. You just threw that in there in an attempt to try and win the day.
When you look at the list of things what black fatigue is, you see a lot of pointing the fingers outwardly versus like, what am I really doing with my own situation?
All right, Orlando. I'm gonna send you a link. I'm gonna let you come on live. Y'all can give him that smoke when he come on here.
Kamar, let me just tell you, man. I still respect you, but you and I can always have a debate. But I do, hope that we can always be on the debate and, not slide somewhere else. I got respect for you. If we can debate, that's always, welcome.
No doubt.
All right. He said you believe, this is Ace. He said you believe in that white Jesus.
There you go.
Earl Henning said,
"Hello." My thing is, I wouldn't even. I'm not even gonna debate because you know what I mean. I feel like you need to respond. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you're trying to dodge the next question or something. And that's why I said I wouldn't even debate with you, Orlando, because you protect what you think too much. You're not an open thinker. An open thinker is open to other thoughts. And you're not that, so I wouldn't even debate you.
I'm not so you're right. I'm not an open thinker. I'm a free thinker. And I know bullshit when I see it and I hear it. I do know that, and I'll call it.
Black fatigue.
You call what you think is bullshit.
Earl Henning said, hell bus getting gas. This is Jason. He said, shout out to Cuz. He said, told you bullshit. Let me see. Ace Cooley said, damn, Cuz, he done made me get a blunt too. Ace Cooley said he's not factual. Listen, we're gonna bring, like I said, we're gonna bring this brother on. Y'all wanna, and we'll have to, I ain't scared of no debate. I don't turn down nothing but my collar because I know what you're saying is so tone deaf. And then I like how you tried to throw the whole Christian thing in there. But one thing you got to understand is it's never wrong to recognize what's wrong with you. If a black person says, this is how this system makes me feel, you or no other individual doesn't have the right to say, oh, that ain't how you feel. Your ass just lazy. You don't want to get up and be accountable. First of all, we have no choice. We have no choice but be accountable to what's going on. So hold on. Yeah. Let me talk and let me finish, or I'll just hang up. All right. We have no choice. We live in a situation where most of these games are played on our backs. So you're thrown into an environment where it's set up for you to lose. And unfortunately, a lot of us lose. But for you, as another man of color, to say there are not specific things that have been aimed at black people. You've never heard of Jim Crowism. You've never heard of slavery. You've never heard of the crack epidemic. No, but you just said, when I asked you yes or no, y'all help me out. When I said yes or no, the man said no. I asked you a very specific question. I wasn't playing no games. It wasn't open-ended. I said yes or no. You said
at that
no.
point, I understood he answered questions to dodge the next question.
Or to come back and kind of put a twist on it to say, nah, man.
He answered questions. He answered questions for to, you know what I mean? We're listening for to give a response.
No, Kamar, that's not even Kamar. What you heard was something you didn't agree with. That I'm not going to go into this whole box of, everything is, it's like, well,
ain't nobody tell you to reply to me right now. It's talking about going back and forth about something. Ain't nobody tell you to comment back just now.
Well, I know. I'm about to check this out, y'all. We'll be back with this. I wanted to close the show talking about Alfonso Ribeiro because I thought it was funny that he came out with this thing and says, I'm never truly going to be accepted by America, because Black America, because of my wife, because he has a white woman, right? And so we've always lived with this kind of narrative of black men with white women, black women with white men. And I've come to the conclusion that your being in a relationship with a white person doesn't necessarily disqualify you as a person of color, but it says a lot about your personality. And any fruitful, productive relationship requires compromise. Therefore, if you are married to a person of a different race, it doesn't have to be white, it doesn't have to be Chinese, it could be whatever it is. If you want that relationship to work, you're going to have to compromise. So once you're in our community and you're compromised, we choose not to deal with you. So it's not really just based on, oh, you're married to a white woman. When I look at you, I want to know if your heart and my heart are in the same place in terms of our love and respect and the way we cherish our own people and the way we talk about, you want to establish generational wealth. You want to have legacies, which means we have to be on the same page, man and woman, specifically black man and black woman. Now, if you're not fortunate enough to find another black person, another foundational black American that you can connect with and that you can vibe with and that you can build with, maybe then your destiny lies in the heart of someone else. And if that happens, that's fine. But when you go into it with preconceived, pre-programmed notions that white ice is colder, white women are better than black women, white men are better than black men, no other black person knows how to love me. It kills me when I see sisters say, black men don't know how to love me. Maybe you don't know how to love yourself. You know, if you've been in many failed relationships and many different kinds of breakups and calamities, and this has happened multiple times over the years, at what point do you stop and say, you know what? Maybe it's me. Everybody else could not possibly be wrong. Okay. So when it comes to if you're a white person, you got a white woman, you ain't part of us. What we want to know is, why aren't you part of us? What about us was inadequate for you? Right? So once again, I'm just saying, I'm not mad at anybody who has a white girl, or any sister who has a white man. But when I see you drinking the Kool-Aid, when I see you playing with the narrative that is somehow you're better off and you're smarter and you're above us and you're so unique that another black person can't love you, I say that motherfucker's a sellout. That's what it looks like to me, Kamar. It looks like they're a sellout. In the meantime and in between time, man, we'll be back Monday. I am going to bring Orlando on the show, and we'll have that's going to be a circus. Like, I don't even know if I want to do that. I'm going to have to be on mic mute control and all kinds of shit. Somebody going to get hung up on that show. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Y'all let me know. Should I bring him on or should I leave him on the phone instead of bringing him on to the show? Only thing with Orlando is he just don't know how to shut up sometimes when he just start talking over people. Like, you do too much. In the meantime and in between time, man, the whole solution to this is be the change you want to see. If you got kids, raise them. If you got a wife, love her. If you got a husband, love him. You have to be the change you want to see. You have to be a person that's not always about talking, but ultimately is about action. Because if that's not the type of person you are, that means your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution to it. And then we become really dismissive of you and just refer to you as a coon. That's not what you want to be, man. I will see y'all Monday, man. Peace and love. Share the show, share the show, share the show. Get to House of Vitality this weekend. I'm going to give me some sea moss and some maca root. You got some maca root for me?
I got something with some maca root.
Okay. I'm on a supplement kick. I'm gonna come get mine this weekend, so I might see y'all up there, man. Peace and love, man. Y'all be cool.
Peace, y'all.